Have you ever wondered why your heart keeps racing even when the world around you is quiet? Why your mind won't stop spinning even when you lie still in bed, eyes closed, body exhausted? Why peace feels like a distant land you read about but never quite reach? You are not alone in this. The modern world, so full of noise, urgency, expectation, has placed your soul in a cage of constant doing. But beneath that turbulence, Zen offers a door to a quieter mind, to a softer heart, to come home again. Zen does not ask you to change the world. It only invites you to sit with it. And that's what we'll do here. Gently, quietly, slowly. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's begin. There is something inside you that wants to rest deeply. But that part has been drowned out by endless questions. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if I'm not enough? These voices are loud, but they are not you. You've believed they were part of your identity for so long that silence has become uncomfortable. But silence is your nature. Just as the sky remains unshaken while clouds storm across it, your awareness is untouched by thoughts. You don't have to chase or fight your mind anymore. The first step is noticing, I am not at peace, and that's okay. From that honesty, the door begins to open. Now I invite you to breathe again. Not a forced breath, just a simple return. Can you feel the air? That's not just oxygen. That is life entering you without judgment. You don't need to deserve it. You don't need to try harder to receive it. Your breath is always here, waiting, offering, anchoring. And in this breath, something softens. The fear begins to loosen its grip. Have you ever seen a pond in the early morning? The surface is still, but beneath it, fish glide effortlessly. That stillness is not empty. It is alive. Your mind, too, can be like this, but only when you stop splashing the surface. Zen is not about solving the mind. It's about watching it, with no need to fix just to see. As a mother watches her child cry, not with panic but with love, you can watch your own thoughts arise and fall, with warmth, with patience. You might ask, but why can't I just stop thinking? Because the mind was never meant to be stopped. It was meant to be witnessed. The same way you watch clouds drift, you are the sky. The thoughts are clouds. And even the darkest storm cannot harm the sky itself. This is the truth Zen teaches again and again. Close your eyes now. Or if they're already closed, soften them. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Let your jaw unclench. Let your chest expand without force. There is nowhere to go. Nothing to prove. You are already here. The mind will try to speak. Let it. Don't chase it. Don't fight it. Just return. Return to this breath. There's a story of a student who came to the Zen master and asked, "How do I find peace?" The master handed him a cup and said, "Fill this with water from the stream and sit with it until it clear." The student obeyed. At first, the water was muddy, but as he sat still and patient, the mud sank. The water became clear. The master returned and asked, "What did you learn?" The student said, "When I do nothing, the clarity returns on its own. So it is with you. Stop trying to stir the water. Just sit with yourself. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are simply learning to sit long enough for the mud to settle. And yes, there will be discomfort. The silence might feel sharp at first, like a mirror too honest. You may want to run back to noise, to distractions. But sit, stay, breathe. There is something waiting behind the noise, a deeper knowing, a gentler truth. It will not shout, it whispers, and it waits for you to be still enough to hear. You may remember pain, you may remember failure, you may remember rejection, and all of it may feel like your identity. But what if those memories were just stories told by a frightened child within? Would you yell at that child? Or would you hold her whispering, "You're safe now"? Do the same with yourself. You are not your story. You are the one who is aware of it. Every time your mind shouts a new fear, you can say gently, "Thank you, but I'm choosing stillness now." Not to deny the fear, not to fight it, just to release it from the driver's seat, her seat. Imagine handing the steering wheel back to your breath. Let it guide you into now, into the only place where peace is possible. And if you slip into old habits, thinking, clenching, doubting, notice. Smile even. Say, there I go again, and come back. That's all Zen asks of you. Return, return, return. The truth is, peace was never far. It was just buried under noise. And now, layer by layer, word by word, you are uncovering it. There is a storm inside you, but you are not the storm. There are clouds of worry, winds of doubt, and waves of fear, but you are not any of them. You are the sky in which they pass. You are the space that holds it all untouched. In Zen, we do not try to stop the storm. We watch it. We sit beneath its thunder and know it will not last. So let yourself rest now, not in the false promise of control, but in the quiet confidence that every storm, no matter how fierce, moves on. Breathe in, breathe out. The storm is not you. Feel the tightness in your chest begin to loosen. Feel the swirl of thoughts slow their spin. You've spent so long believing every passing fear was part of your essence. But those fears have never been you. You have always been the one observing, the one aware, the one who listens when the wind howls but does not become the wind. There's a Zen story of a monk who sat in meditation during a violent rainstorm. Thunder-cracked trees swayed. Rain poured from the heavens. Another novice, afraid and drenched, ran to the monk and shouted, "Aren't you scared?" The monk opened his eyes and replied, "Scared of what? Of what? The rain. It's only water. This is your reminder." Most of the fears that feel enormous in your mind are, when looked at clearly, just rain, just water, harmless when you stop running from it. The mind has a habit, it dramatizes. It tells you that discomfort means danger, that sadness means failure, that fear means something is wrong with you. But this is only a habit of thought, not a law of existence. When the storm rises in your mind, you can learn to whisper, here is fear again. Not to fight it, not to run from it, just to see it. And in the seeing, something magical happens. It begins to lose its grip, just like clouds that dissolve when you stop chasing them. Bring your attention to your breath again, not to change it, just to notice it. Inhale, exhale, Feel how this rhythm anchors you to this moment. Let the tension in your shoulders melt just a little more. Let your stomach soften. Let your jaw unclench. Can you feel how the storm has already begun to pass simply because you stopped identifying with it? The mind will want to bring you back to fear. That is its nature. It does not make you weak. It only means you've been believing the mind instead of watching it. But now, you are learning a new way, a way of being instead of battling, a way of observing instead of overreacting. You are not powerless in the storm. You are the witness of its weather. Sometimes you may feel overwhelmed. That's okay. When the storm feels too strong, don't try to be strong in return. Instead, be still. Be soft. Let the winds pass around you. Even the mightiest tree survives not by resisting, but by yielding. Let yourself bend, not break. Let yourself feel, but do not collapse. The heart that knows it is not the storm will always return to calm. You might notice your heartbeat faster than usual. That's okay too. Just place your hand on your chest and say softly, "I'm here." You don't have to understand everything. You don't have to fix everything. You just have to stay with yourself, with this breath, with this unfolding moment, over and over. You've weathered so many storms before, and each time, even if you forgot you made it through, this one is no different. The pain feels personal, but it's not a punishment. It's a cloud. It will pass. The worry feels endless, but it's not eternal. It's a wave. It will break. Return again to stillness. Let yourself imagine you are a mountain rooted deep beneath the surface. Winds may howl, rain may fall, but the mountain does not move. Your awareness is like that, unshakable, deep, enduring. When you realize this, you won't fear the storm anymore. You'll welcome it as weather. There's nothing wrong with you because you feel overwhelmed. There's nothing broken in you because you tremble. The very act of seeing it without judgment is already the beginning of peace. That's the path Zen offers. That's the stillness we return to now. No need to chase stillness. No need to force peace. Just notice in this moment you are breathing. And in this breath you are free. Even with the storm nearby, even with worry still whispering, even now, you are free. You have held on for so long, gripping the edges of certainty, clinging to the idea that if you just try hard enough, you can keep everything under control. But control is an illusion, isn't it? The tighter you grip, the more everything slips through your fingers. Anxiety begins here in the space between your need to hold on and life's quiet insistence to flow. Let go of the riverbank now. You've been clutching it exhausted, thinking it would save you. But what if salvation is in the letting go? What if peace is not upstream, but in the surrender? Imagine this: you release your grasp and let the current carry you. Not because you're giving up, but because you're giving in to life, to trust, to something deeper than fear. There is an old Zen story of a man clinging to a branch over a cliff. He calls for help. A monk passes by and says, "Let go." The man shouts, "But I'll fall." The monk only replies, "Let go." The man trembling releases his grip and discovers the ground was just inches below his feet. You've been hanging like that, muscles aching, mind spinning, afraid to loosen your hold. But what you fear might not be your fall. It might be your freedom. Breathe now, deep, slow, like a leaf floating on still water. Let that image guide you, soft, weightless, trusting the movement of the moment. You don't have to force direction. You don't have to know what comes next. You only have to soften into the flow. There is a great intelligence in life that does not need your control. The seasons turn. The moon rises. The river flows all without your effort. You are part of that. Why believe you must hold it all together alone? Your anxiety is not a flaw. It is a sign that something inside you is ready to stop fighting. The body tenses when the mind fears it will lose something, but nothing real can ever be lost. What is meant for you cannot be missed. What has served its time cannot be kept. Letting go is not rejection. It is ripening. It is the moment when the fruit loosens from the branch and falls, not in despair, but in surrender to the cycle. Feel your fingers unclench physically and emotionally. Notice the tension in your back, in your jaw, in your thoughts. That's where the riverbank lives, in the places you grip out of habit. Whisper to them, "Let go, let go, let go," and feel how the current holds you. You don't need to figure everything out tonight. The mind will try. It will tell you there's something to fix, someone to become, some perfect moment to reach. But the river doesn't think. It moves. It surrenders to gravity and earth and time. Be like that, just for now, just in this breath. Let the water carry away the questions. Let it carry away the guilt. Let it carry away the tight narratives you've built to feel safe. You don't need them here. You are safe in this moment, in this breath, in this stillness. And if fear rises, because it will just acknowledge it. Say, the mind is afraid of drifting. That's okay. Let the fear be part of the current too. Don't wrestle it. Don't dam the flow. Include it. Flow with it until even fear is softened by the water. Sometimes letting go feels like death. The death of identity, of stories of control. But Zen teaches that this kind of death is rebirth. The ego trembles, but the soul awakens. Who are you without the struggle? Who are you without the noise? Listen, the answer is not a thought. It is a silence beneath the thoughts. Stay in that silence a little longer. Trust it. Float in it. You don't have to swim. You don't have to reach the shore. The river is already taking you where you need to go. All you must do is rest in its arms. Even now, with your thoughts still trying to pull you back, you are beginning to drift. Not into sleep, but into surrender. Into something older than fear, more ancient than the mind. A place where peace is not earned, it's remembered. Welcome back. You carry so much that was never yours to begin with. The expectations of others, the weight of their disappointment, the shadows of old words spoken in anger or fear, all of it stacked on your shoulders like invisible stones. And you have walked with them for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to be light. But tonight, you are invited to put them down. Not because you must prove anything, but because your soul longs to rest. There is a story in Zen of two monks walking through the forest. They come to a river where a woman waits, unable to cross. One monk lifts her onto his back and carries her across. Hours later, the other monk, still troubled, says, "You should not have touched her." The first monk smiles and replies, "I put her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" So much of your anxiety is not about what's happening now. It's about what you have not yet put down. You still carry their voices, don't you? The ones that said you weren't enough. The ones that made you question your worth. You still replay moments that are long gone, hoping to edit the memory, rewrite the ending, change what was. But memories are not stone. They are wind constantly shifting, and only powerful when you try to grasp them. Let the wind blow through you. Let it pass. Feel into your body now. Notice what you're holding. The tightness in your chest, the clench in your throat, the weight between your brows. Each sensation tells a story of something unprocessed, something held too long. You don't need to analyze it. You only need to acknowledge it. Breathe into it and say softly, "I release you." Not with anger, not with blame, but with understanding. What you carry was never meant to be permanent. It came into your life to teach something. And now, its lesson complete, it is time to let it go. You are not responsible for the pain others placed in your hands. You are not required to keep wearing the guilt that was projected onto you. You are not obligated to hold the grief that was never yours to heal. What would happen if you gave it all back to the river? Imagine it, all those burdens lifted from your shoulders, drifting away like leaves on water. You do not have to solve the past to be free from it. You only have to stop carrying what doesn't belong to you. The more you carry, the more life becomes heavy, and the further you drift from the simplicity of being. The child inside you still remembers lightness, still remembers how to laugh, how to wonder, how to trust. That part of you is not gone. It's just hidden beneath the weight. Unpack, release. Set down even the identities you've outgrown, the strong one, the responsible one, the one who always has it together. Who would you be if you weren't carrying those names? The world will always offer you new weights, expectations, roles, fears, but you do not have to accept them. You can bow gently and say, "No, thank you. I choose peace." And peace begins with knowing what to return. Not with bitterness, but with love. Like placing something sacred back where it belongs. Like returning a stone to the riverbed. Even now, as you rest, the body remembers. It remembers all the years of bracing, defending, enduring. And so it may take time. Time to soften. Time to trust that it's safe to put the weight down. Be patient. Be gentle. Healing is not a race. It is a process of remembering what freedom feels like. Feel the breath again, entering like a breeze through an open window. Let it sweep away what lingers. Let it cradle you. You don't need to know how to let go perfectly. You only need to begin. And if the mind resists, say kindly, "It's okay. We're learning to be free." As you lie here, you are already doing the work. You are already loosening the knots. already handing back what was never yours. You are becoming lighter, freer, closer to yourself, closer to the silence that has waited patiently beneath all that weight. And when the morning comes and the world asks you to pick up old burdens again, remember this feeling. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to walk lighter. You are allowed to remember you were never meant to carry it all. You've been trying to hold everything together, haven't you? As if the entire world might crumble if you stop trying for even a moment. You've rushed, fixed, planned, and pushed, hoping that if you just do enough, you might finally feel at ease. But peace doesn't arrive when you've done everything. It arrives when you realize you don't have to do it all. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to make everyone happy. You don't have to hold the pieces of the world in place with your bare hands. Sometimes the most powerful act of love is stepping back, letting things be, trusting the flow, trusting that life will not fall apart just because you pause to breathe. There's a Zen parable about a man who spent his days sweeping the leaves in his garden. No matter how carefully he swept, more leaves always fell. A monk walked by and said, "Why don't you let the leaves fall?" The man stopped, looked at the sky, and for the first time noticed its beauty. You've been sweeping leaves, haven't you? Running from one task to another, hoping to clear the mess of life. But life is not a mess to be cleaned. It's a field to be walked, a sky to be seen, a breath to be felt. Let the leaves fall. Let things be unfinished. Let others make their own mistakes. You are not here to manage everything. You are here to live. Your anxiety often whispers, "You must act now. You must fix this. You must keep everyone safe." But that voice is not the voice of wisdom. It's the voice of fear, disguised as duty. Fear tells you that rest is dangerous, that stillness is lazy, that stepping back means losing control. But in truth, stepping back is where clarity begins. In the silence after the noise, you finally hear what matters. In the stillness after the motion, your heart speaks. And it never rushes. It never forces. It simply knows. What if your only task tonight was to stop fixing and start witnessing? To let go of the tight grip on outcome and soften into presence. You are allowed to be here without solving anything, without being productive, without being perfect. You are enough, even in your stillness, especially in your stillness. Notice how the body responds to that permission. Your shoulders drop, your breathing deepens, your heart slows. This is not failure. This is wisdom returning to its source. The birds don't rush to build the nest. The river doesn't hurry to reach the sea. They move in rhythm with what is. You can too. There is no urgency in the present moment. It unfolds in its own time. It heals what needs healing without your effort. You are not the healer. You are the vessel in which healing happens. Let go of trying to make it all right. Some things are meant to unfold in their own time, in their own way. Some things are not yours to fix. And that's okay. The world is not asking you to carry it. It is asking you to trust it. To trust that life in its quiet intelligence knows how to grow, how to shift, how to return to balance without your constant direction. Sit now in that trust. Feel it bloom in your chest like a flower opening to the sun. Soft, slow, effortless. Let your breath be the sunlight. Let it warm the parts of you that have grown cold from trying too hard. Whisper to yourself, I don't need to fix everything. I just need to be here. And if your mind resists, if it tells you again that something must be done, smile at it like you would a child afraid of the dark. Say gently, not now. We are resting. We are learning to let things be. The sky does not fix the clouds. It holds them. The ocean does not rearrange the waves. It allows them to come and go. You can be like that too, holding, allowing, witnessing, not fixing. Even now, even here, you are doing enough. More than enough. You are breathing. You are listening. You are softening. And in that softening, the anxiety begins to dissolve. Not all at once, not forever, but enough for this moment, enough for tonight, enough to remind you that peace does not live in perfection. It lives in surrender. Let go now. Let it all be. You do not have to hold the world together. You only have to come home to yourself. Your body speaks the truths your mind tries to silence. Every ache in your shoulders, every knot in your stomach, every shallow breath is a quiet whisper from within, telling you that you've been holding on too tightly. You try to think your way out of anxiety, but the body has already absorbed it. The mind clings, and the body suffers. This is where Zen gently intervenes, not with force or judgment, but with presence. Noticing is the first act of compassion. So now, I invite you to feel. Just feel. Without analyzing, without fixing. Feel the weight in your chest. Feel the tightness in your jaw. Feel the restlessness in your legs. These are not enemies. These are messengers. They are not obstacles to your healing. They are the doorway into it. Close your eyes if they are not already closed. Bring your attention to your breath, not the thought of breath, but the sensation. The coolness as it enters your nose. The warmth as it leaves. Feel how each inhale lifts your body and how each exhale is a soft release. Now, direct your awareness to your shoulders. Are they holding more than they need? Let them drop. Let them melt. Move your attention to your chest. Is it bracing for something? Let it expand freely. You are not in danger here. You are safe. You are allowed to soften. You are allowed to rest. In Zen, there is a deep knowing that the mind and body are not separate. When your mind clings to worry, your body begins to prepare for battle. Heart-racing muscles, tightening breath, shortening. But the battle is not real. It's a memory, a fear, a ghost. The body, confused, begins to suffer for something that is not happening now. And yet the body also knows how to return. It remembers stillness. It remembers softness. It just needs your permission. There's a story of a Zen master who, when asked about enlightenment, simply placed his hand on his heart and smiled. He did not speak. He just breathed. That is the teaching. Enlightenment is not somewhere far. It is in your chest right now, waiting for you to notice. Let your awareness scan slowly from head to toe, not to correct, just to see. Let your eyes relax into darkness. Let your tongue soften in your mouth. Let your hands loosen their grip. Let your stomach fall away from tension. Let your feet rest without holding. This body is your companion, not your enemy. It has carried you through years of strain, and it waits patiently for you to listen, to breathe with it, not against it. When emotions arise, and they will watch how your body reacts, shame curls the shoulders inward, fear shortens the breath, anger tightens the jaw. But you are not those reactions. You are the one who observes them. That's where your power lives, not in controlling, but in noticing, in holding space, in being the sky. Again, not the weather. You don't need to force calm. You only need to allow what is, to breathe through it, to soften into it. Every time you bring awareness to the body, without judgment, without resistance, you invite healing. You say to yourself, I am here. I'm not abandoning you anymore. And yes, the mind may wander. It may drag you back to thoughts of the past, of the future, of failure. That's okay. When it does, simply return. Return to the body. Return to the breath. Return to this sacred act of resting. It's not a performance. It's not an escape. It's a homecoming. You are not here to conquer anxiety. You are here to stop fighting yourself. You are here to remember the wisdom of your own skin. To trust that softness is not weakness. That rest is not laziness. That being is not less than doing. The body, when heard, becomes your guide. It will tell you when to pause, when to release, when to slow down. But only if you listen. So, listen now. With reverence, with love, whisper inwardly, you are safe now. You may rest. And with every breath, something unlocks, something opens. The armor you've worn begins to slip away. The layers you've wrapped around your fear begin to peel. And underneath all of it is a simple truth. You are always whole. Even in the trembling, even in the aching, you are whole. Let that truth settle in your bones. Let it ripple through your breath. Let it echo in the silence. You do not need to do more. You do not need to be more. You are already enough. And your body, this temple of presence, knows the way home. In Zen, mindfulness is not just a practice. It is a way of life. Mindfulness is the art of, there is a quiet truth. The world forgets to tell you even the lotus grows in the mud. You look at your pain and wonder if it disqualifies you from peace. You look at your wounds and wonder if they make you less worthy, less spiritual, less whole. But Zen teaches otherwise. It does not ask you to be clean before you begin the path. It does not wait for perfection before it whispers its truths. It meets you exactly where you are messy, confused, aching, and it bows to your mud. The lotus never apologizes for the water it rises from. It opens slowly, patiently, trusting that what it grew through is part of what makes it beautiful. And so, you may be lying there tonight, still carrying the residue of old pain, perhaps not even your own. It might be childhood memories buried beneath smiles or the silence of grief you never spoke aloud. It might be shame that lingers in your breath or the ache of being unseen, unloved, misunderstood. And yet here you are, breathing, listening, still unfolding, still alive. Do not underestimate this. Do not rush to escape your darkness. Sit with it. Let it speak. Because your healing does not begin in the light. It begins in the mud, in the honesty of where you are. Zen is not about pretending you're above suffering. It's about seeing the suffering clearly, holding it gently, and knowing that you are not it. Just like the seed cannot avoid the dirt, your soul cannot avoid the friction of life. But that friction is not a punishment. It is transformation in disguise. Breathe with me. Slowly. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Let your body feel safe. Let your mind begin to soften its grip. You are not required to understand everything right now. You are not here to analyze your pain into submission. You are here to be with it, to offer it your company. There's an old Zen teaching that says, sit in the middle of your pain. Make tea with it. Listen to what it wants to teach. And so we sit, not to fix, but to honor. Not to judge, but to witness. Maybe part of you is tired of this pain, tired of the repeating patterns, the familiar ache, the feeling of stuckness. That's okay. You don't need to like the mud, but can you respect it? Can you acknowledge that it has shaped you, softened you, humbled you in ways comfort never could? There is a kind of wisdom that only grows in darkness, a kind of compassion that only arises after you've been broken and found yourself again. Feel your breath as it moves through the heart. Let it cleanse. Let it clear. Let it touch the places you've kept hidden even from yourself. Sometimes healing does not come in a burst. Sometimes it comes in a slow drip. A gentle unfolding, a soft thawing. You don't have to speed it up. You only have to stay. Look at the lotus again, not in your mind, but in your heart. See its petals resting open on the water. But beneath that grace is a thick layer of mud roots tangled in darkness. And yet the flower does not shrink from that truth. It draws strength from it. You are the same. Your pain is not a mistake, it is part of the path. The mud is not the end, it is the beginning. There's a story of a Zen practitioner who came to his master and said, I've spent years trying to purify my thoughts, to silence my pain, but it always returns. The master picked up a dirty bowl and poured water into it. The water became cloudy. He set the bowl down and said nothing. Hours passed. The student grew restless. Finally, the master said, Do you see the water? The student looked and saw it had become clear. This is your mind, the master said. It is not purified through effort. It becomes clear when it is left in stillness. Tonight, you do not need to purify yourself. You only need to stop stirring. Let the emotions settle. Let the thoughts drift. Let the stillness do its quiet work. The more you try to fix the mud, the more you disturb the water. Sit, breathe, wait. Clarity comes. Peace comes. Not because you chase them, but because you became still enough to receive them. Maybe you've blamed yourself for the pain you carry. Maybe you've believed the lie that healing requires perfection. But Zen knows better. It bows to the whole of you, the joy and the sorrow, the calm and the chaos. All of it belongs. So tonight, if the old fears rise, meet them like an old friend you no longer fear. Bow to them. Listen without attachment and say gently, "Thank you, I'm still here." That simple presence is your power. That is the seed of awakening. You are not failing because you feel. You are not broken because you hurt. You are not lost because you haven't figured it all out. You are a lotus still rising, still becoming, still learning to trust that your beauty is born from everything you've endured. Let the breath continue, steady, circular, like waves washing onto shore. Let it bathe you in softness. Let it remind your nervous system that you are not in battle, that you don't have to armor yourself tonight, that you are safe in this space. And as you soften, notice how the mud within you begins to shift, not disappearing, but becoming fertile, becoming soil for something new. This is the alchemy of awareness. Pain becomes wisdom. Shame becomes gentleness. Fear becomes freedom. Not because you force it, but because you stop resisting. Zen does not promise that you will never feel darkness again, but it shows you how to meet it without fear, how to walk into the night without needing the light to rush in. Because in that quiet, in that dark, your eyes adjust. You begin to see what was always there. You begin to see yourself, not as a problem, not as a project, but as a sacred being who has weathered much and still breathes, still loves, still dares to open. And if tears come, let them. They are part of the cleansing, part of the release, part of the blooming. Let them fall into the mud and water it with grace. Let them make room for new roots to take hold. Rest now in the knowing that nothing has been wasted, not the pain, not the mistakes, not the silence. All of it has brought you here, to this moment, to this breath, to this sacred unfolding. You don't need to be any different than you are right now. You don't need to strive for some higher version of yourself. You are not a self-improvement project. You are a lotus slowly rising. Trust the mud. Trust the water. Trust the silence. And most of all, trust the part of you that chose to stay, that kept walking, that keeps breathing. In this breath, you are held. In this breath, you are home. Don't chase the cloud, be the sky. This is what Zen whispers in your moments of confusion, when thoughts move like storm fronts across your mind, when your heart is scattered in 10 directions at once. You've spent so much of your life chasing certainty, chasing happiness, chasing approval, chasing meaning. And the more you chase, the more elusive it all becomes, like reaching for a cloud, only to have it slip through your fingers. But the sky never moves. The sky does not chase. The sky simply is. And you underneath the noise are that sky, boundless, open, and untouched by the passing weather. Tonight, I want you to stop chasing, just for a while. I want you to imagine that every thought in your head is a cloud, some light and soft, others dark and full of rain. Some shaped like memories, some shaped like worries, some shaped like stories you've told yourself so many times you don't even hear them anymore. Watch them. Don't run after them. Don't push them away. Let them come. Let them go. You are not the cloud. You are the sky. When the thought comes, did I do enough today? Did I say the right thing? What if I never get it right? Watch it float across your awareness. Do not climb into it. Do not argue with it. Say gently, "That is just a cloud," and return to your breath. Let your breath be the ground you come home to. Inhale slowly. Exhale even slower. Feel how it moves through you, like a gentle wind clearing the sky, making space. In Zen practice, monks are often told to sit and watch their thoughts as cows crossing a field. One by one, the thoughts move past, some slow, some agitated, some large, some fleeting. But the monk does not follow the cows. He does not name them, chase them, or fight them. He simply watches, and in that watching, he becomes free. This is your invitation now. Sit in the field of your own mind. Let the cows walk by. Let the thoughts pass. You do not need to ride them anywhere. It's tempting to believe that peace comes from solving all the thoughts. That if you just think harder, understand deeper, analyze better, you'll finally reach stillness. But stillness does not come at the end of thinking. It comes when you realize you are not your thoughts. You are the space they pass through. The sky does not cling to the cloud, and the cloud does not define the sky. This shift from identifying with thoughts to witnessing them is subtle, but it changes everything. Suddenly, the thoughts lose their power to drag you into old fears. Suddenly, anxiety loses its sharp edge. You stop living inside the storm and you begin watching it pass. Maybe your mind still races. That's okay. Minds race. They leap, they spin, let it run. But do not run with it. You are not obligated to follow where every thought leads. In fact, the more you follow, the more lost you become. But if you stay still just for this breath, and then the next, you begin to see the path again. Not through effort, through presence. Feel the space behind the thoughts now. That soft awareness that notices everything, judges nothing. That is you. That is your sky nature. It is never stained, never clouded. Even when your mind is loud, your awareness remains quiet. Even when thoughts scream, your essence whispers. Let that whisper guide you. Let it say, "Stay here, just this moment, just this breath." When the mind tells you to revisit the past, why did they say that? What did I do wrong? Notice the pull. But instead of falling in, return to now. Say gently, "That is a cloud," and watch it float away. Zen does not ask you to stop thinking. It asks you to stop being entangled. You can have thoughts without being trapped in them. You can feel sadness without drowning in it. You can observe fear without obeying it. This is not denial, it is freedom. There's a story of a Zen student who came to his master frustrated. "My mind is like a monkey jumping all the time," he said. The master nodded and said, "Let the monkey jump. Just stop chasing it." That is the practice. Let your monkey mind do what it does. Let it leap. Let it chatter. But don't chase. Don't climb its tree. Just sit beneath it. Watch. And when you notice yourself caught, again lost in a thought, tangled in a memory, don't punish yourself. Smile. Say, I chased a cloud," and come back. not with frustration, with compassion. This path is not about perfection. It's about returning, over and over. Let your body join the stillness now. Let your arms rest where they are. Let your jaw relax. Let your eyelids be soft. Let your breath be the only thing you do. Feel the inhale. Feel the exhale. Let the rhythm of breathing remind you that you're alive and you don't need to do anything more. Each breath clears the sky a little more. Each exhale returns you to yourself. And in that space, you begin to feel something deeper than calm. You feel clarity. Not the clarity that comes from solving problems, but the clarity that comes from no longer needing to. The sky never hurries. The sky never holds. And yet everything happens beneath it. That is your nature too. You don't need to be forceful to be strong. You don't need to be busy to be valuable. You don't need to chase healing. You only need to allow it. There is a moment perhaps now where the thoughts slow and you begin to feel the vastness of the space they move through. That space is sacred. That space is your true self. And the more you rest in it, the more your thoughts lose their grip. They no longer spin you into anxiety. They no longer trap you in past regrets. They come and they go, like clouds. You may still hear the occasional thunder of worry. That's okay. Clouds don't disappear forever. But you'll know now they are just clouds. You are still the sky. You always were. You always will be. So let the mind do what it does. Let it offer its clouds, but stay where you are, here, in the breath, in the space, in the stillness. You are not missing anything. You are not late. You are not broken. You are simply remembering. And if tomorrow brings more clouds, welcome them too. Say, here comes thinking again. And breathe. That's all. Breathe. Because peace is not found in chasing clouds. It's found in being the sky. Every thought is a guest. It arrives at your door without warning, sometimes polite, sometimes loud, sometimes carrying the scent of old memories or fears you thought you'd long buried. Some knock softly and disappear as quickly as they came. Others barge in and overstay, rearranging the furniture in your mind and making you question your peace. But still, they are guests, not permanent residents, not rulers, not you. And Zen invites you to greet them as such, not with resistance or attachment, but with a quiet nod and a soft awareness that says, I see you and I'll let you pass. You are not required to entertain every thought. You are not required to believe every word it speaks. You are only asked to remember that you are the host, not the thought itself. This is difficult at first. The mind is fast and convincing. A single thought can spiral into entire stories, entire futures, entire arguments that never really happen. A single emotion can become an identity. I am anxious. I am broken. I am not enough. But these are clouds passing through the vast sky of your awareness. You have simply mistaken them for the sky itself. It's okay. You've been trained to do so. The world taught you to identify with your thoughts, but you can learn to unlearn that. You can begin now in this stillness to return to the truth that thoughts are visitors, transient, shifting, without substance unless you give it to them. Let's begin here. Breathe in gently, and as you exhale, imagine a small door at the center of your mind. This door opens and a thought steps in. Maybe it's a familiar one, I didn't do enough today. Maybe it's one you haven't seen in a while. What if I never heal? Let it enter. Let it speak. But do not invite it to stay forever. Do not give it tea and a bed. Simply notice it. Say inwardly, here is the thought again, and allow it to move through. Like a guest who drifts into a room and then out again. Like a bird that rests on the branch before flying off into the morning sky. There is a Zen story about a young monk who was troubled by persistent thoughts. He came to his master and asked how to make them stop. The master smiled, pointed to the wind, and said, "Can you stop the wind from blowing?" The student frowned and said, "Of course not." The master replied, "Then why try to stop your thoughts? Let them blow. Just do not follow them." And this is your practice now. Not to block the wind, not to fight the storm, but to become the tree that stands calmly, letting the wind pass through its branches. Notice the next thought that arises. Don't chase it. Don't suppress it. Let it float in and float out. You are not passive in this process. You are powerfully present. You are the awareness behind the thought, the one who sees, the one who listens without needing to agree, the one who watches without being caught. This is the seat of your inner stillness. This is where the turbulence quiets, not because the thoughts stop, but because your attachment to them loosens. You may find that some thoughts come wrapped in emotion, maybe shame or sadness or fear. That's okay. Thoughts bring emotions like guests bring weather. Some arrive with sunshine, some with rain. But the sky does not resist the weather. It simply holds it all. So too, can you hold the emotional winds that thoughts carry in? Not by bracing, but by softening. Not by analyzing, but by witnessing. Breathe again. Let your body feel safe in this moment. There is no danger in a thought. It is just an echo, not a command, just a ripple, not a wave that can drown you. There is another story of a Zen master who wrote on the wall, "Let thoughts come, let them go. Just don't serve them tea." It is a reminder that thoughts will come whether you like it or not. You cannot control their arrival, but you can choose how you respond. You can greet them at the threshold. You can bow politely. You can say, "Thank you, but not tonight." And you can return to the breath. Always the breath. Inhale, exhale. It anchors you in the now, which is the only place thoughts dissolve. Notice how many thoughts are echoes of the past or predictions of the future. Very few belong to this moment. Very few are concerned with what's real and immediate. That is their nature. The mind tries to protect you by scanning time, but your safety, your peace, your presence, these live only in now. And now is where your breath is. Now is where your body rests. Now is where you can let the thoughts pass like a parade that you observe but do not join. Sometimes a thought will be sticky. It will return again and again, disguised in different words, but carrying the same fear. That's okay too. Even recurring guests can be treated gently. Even the persistent voice can be heard without obeyed. Say inwardly, you again, I see you, and return to your breath. Do this as many times as needed, 100 times, 1,000. The number doesn't matter. Each return is a step home. Each noticing is an act of freedom. Let your body join the practice. Let your jaw relax. Let your shoulders fall. Let your eyes rest behind closed lids. With each breath, you give your nervous system the message: we are not in danger. We are simply thinking. And even when the thoughts are unpleasant, even when they bring discomfort, you can remain steady. Like the mountain, like the tree, like the sky. You are not broken because your mind is active. You are not failing because your thoughts keep coming. This path is not about silencing the mind. It is about remembering who you are beyond it. Thoughts may storm and spin and swirl, but the awareness behind them, it is still. It is clear. It is undisturbed. Let that stillness expand in you now. Let it fill the spaces between thoughts. Let it stretch into your chest, your belly, your breath. This is your true self, not the thought, not the story, but the one who watches patiently, quietly, without judgment. Zen does not teach you to be empty. It teaches you to be full of presence, to be so rooted in your being that thoughts can dance around you without pulling you from your center. You become the temple, not the noise inside it. You become the fire, not the sparks. And if a thought arises that breaks your heart, meet it with compassion. Say to it, you are part of me, but you do not define me. Let it sit beside you. Let it cry, if it must. But do not hand it the reins. You are allowed to feel without becoming consumed. You are allowed to think without becoming trapped. Even now, even here, you are practicing this truth. You are letting go of the need to control the mind. You are opening the door and trusting that what needs to stay will stay, and what needs to pass will pass. You are learning to host without clinging to welcome, without fear. And when you wake tomorrow, thoughts will come again. That's their nature. But so will your awareness. So will your breath. So will your choice to return to the stillness. You are not your thoughts. You never were. You are the sky, the temple, the home, and every thought is a guest that will eventually leave. Let them come, let them go, and remain where you are, calm, clear, and beautifully unchanged. What you resist persists. The more tightly you hold the door closed against fear, the louder it knocks. The more you try to bury sadness, the more it leaks into your dreams. You may have noticed this already, that pushing thoughts away only makes them more insistent, that denying your pain only gives it sharper edges. Zen offers you a softer way, a wiser way, not to conquer, not to suppress, but to allow. To sit down beside the very thing you fear and listen without flinching. Because what you allow begins to soften, and what you embrace begins to transform. The struggle you see is not with the pain itself. It is with your refusal to feel it. And tonight, in this quiet space, you are gently invited to stop resisting. You've spent so many years building walls around your heart, haven't you? Telling yourself, I can't go there. I can't feel that. If I do, I'll fall apart. But the truth is, you've already carried those feelings with you every day. Resistance doesn't remove pain, it just buries it deeper. You don't fall apart when you feel. You fall apart when you keep pretending you don't. So, take a breath. Let the walls loosen. Let the dam crack. You are strong enough now not to fight, but to let go. Feel into your body. It always knows what you're holding, even when your mind denies it. Where is the resistance living? In your throat, tight with unspoken truths. In your chest heavy with the weight of suppressed grief. In your belly clenched with years of unmet fear. Don't try to make it go away. Just meet it. Just breathe into it. Like a friend sitting beside a friend in silence. You don't have to say anything wise. You only have to stay. There's a Zen teaching that says, if you meet the demon on the road, invite him in for tea. The demon is not what harms you. It is what you refuse to face. Fear, shame, guilt, when avoided, they grow sharp. But when welcomed, they grow quiet. They do not ask to control you. They only ask to be seen. Let your breath deepen. Imagine it as a warm breeze moving through your inner spaces. Not to sweep anything away, but to make space. To soften. To offer oxygen to the places that have felt suffocated. When you feel resistance rising, I don't want to think about that. I can't feel that right now. See it not as an enemy, but as a threshold. A doorway to something old and sacred within you that is finally ready to be acknowledged. Resistance is born from fear. Fear that feeling something will destroy you. But Zen reminds us that the feelings are not hurricanes, they are clouds. Let them pass. Let them rain. Let them dissolve. The sky remains untouched. You remain untouched. You may notice thoughts trying to take over now. This is pointless. Nothing will change. I've been here before. That's okay. Let them speak. And then let them pass. You are not required to believe every voice that rises within you, especially the ones that come from old wounds, especially the ones that try to rush your process or shame your softness. Sit a little longer with what arises. Maybe it's sadness, deep and unfamiliar. Maybe it's anger, hot and sharp. Maybe it's fatigue, the kind that doesn't go away with sleep. Let it be here. Let it stretch out its limbs. Let it speak its language. You don't need to interpret it right now. You don't need to fix its meaning. Just be the space that allows it. Like a temple that holds silence. Like a forest that allows all winds to pass through. This is presence. This is the beginning of true transformation. There is an image often used in Zen, a clenched fist around a burning coal. This is resistance. You hold on believing you're in control, but in truth, you are being burned by what you won't release. The pain is not just from the coal, it's from the holding. What would it be like to open the hand now? Not to throw the pain away, but to release the grip, to let it fall gently to the earth. Feel into your breath again. Let the exhale carry away the need to protect, the need to defend, the need to resist. There is no war inside you that needs winning. Only parts of yourself waiting to be seen held and allowed to rest. The path to peace does not require that you become someone else. It asks only that you stop running from who you already are. That you stop labeling some emotions as wrong and others as acceptable. that you begin to trust your own capacity to feel. Imagine now that you are sitting in a vast field. The wind is moving across your skin. The clouds are drifting above. You are not trying to control the sky. You are not resisting the wind. You are simply here, breathing, noticing, allowing. And in this state of openness, something begins to shift. The thoughts lose their urgency. The body softens. The pain quiets. It does not disappear, not always, but it no longer rules you. Because you are no longer shrinking from it. You are larger now. You are the container, not the contents. The sky, not the storm. Zen does not teach escape. It teaches presence. It says, stay, watch. Be still enough to hear the truth beneath the thought. And that truth is almost always softer than you expect. It says you are okay. It says you are still here. It says this too belongs. Let these words settle in you now, not as concepts, but as experience. Let them touch the places where you've armored yourself against your own humanity. You don't need to be flawless to be free. You only need to stop fighting what is. Even now, as you rest, you are healing. Not by force, not by analysis, but by permission. By saying yes to the moment. Yes to the breath. Yes to all that arises and falls away. If tears come, let them. They are not weakness. They are release. If memories arise, witness them. They are not chains. They are signals. If anger surfaces, bow to it. It is not destruction. It is truth knocking on your door. You don't need to rush. You don't need to name everything. You only need to remain open, to breathe, to trust that what you allow begins to soften, and what you embrace begins to dissolve. The pain you resist tightens. The fear you suppress deepens. But the moment you stop turning away, the moment you let the wave pass through you, find the stillness you thought was lost. And in that stillness is you unchanged whole, deeply present. You've run for so long. You've fought so hard. But now you are invited to rest. You are invited to stop resisting. And in that surrender, you discover something the mind could never give you peace without conditions. Let it wash over you now. Let it soak into your bones. Let your breath be the only thing you listen to. Inhale soft and slow. Exhale softer still. You are not here to win a battle tonight. You are here to return to what has always been yours, the gentle, wordless peace of simply being. You are not your story. The pain you went through, the labels you've carried, the names you were called, the roles you were cast into, none of these define you. They are chapters, yes, events, yes, but they are not your essence. Zen reminds you again and again that the self you believe in is a construction, not a truth. That beneath the layers of narrative memory identity, there is something quieter, more honest, more enduring. That something is awareness, presence, the simple, silent watcher who has been with you through every story, every plot twist, every moment you thought you couldn't survive. And yet you did. You are here, still breathing, still listening, still unfolding. And the stories, however loud, have not managed to consume the real you. Tonight, we look at those stories, not to destroy them, not to erase the past, but to see them clearly for what they are. Temporary clothing you mistook for your skin. Thoughts with strong emotion attached. Narratives that repeated so often they became invisible. But now, in this stillness, we slow everything down. We step back. We look gently. You were told who you are by so many voices, some loving, some careless, some cruel. And over time, you began to believe them. I'm not lovable. I'm too much. I'm never enough. I ruin things. I always fail. I have to earn affection. These are not truths. They are echoes. Echoes of pain. Echoes of misunderstanding. Echoes of someone else's inability to see your worth. But you believed them. We all do at some point. And so, your inner world was built around those phrases like a house built on unstable ground. But that house can be rebuilt, not by fighting the stories, but by seeing through them. Begin now. Bring one story to your mind. One thought you've believed about yourself for years. Something that stings when you hear it. Now breathe. Feel what happens in your body when that story plays. Do your shoulders tighten? Does your heart sink? Do your eyes want to turn away? Just notice. You are not the emotion that rises. You are the space holding it. Now, ask softly, is this absolutely true? Can I be certain this is who I am? Or is this just an old thought? I've repeated so long, it sounds like fact. Feel the space that opens with that question. Not an answer, just space. Zen doesn't give you answers. It gives you room. Room to breathe, room to see, room to be. And in that space, the story loses its grip. Because the truth is, your story is not fixed. It is fluid. It shifts every time you stop clinging to it. And the you that observes this story, that quiet presence, is unchanging. That is the real you, the awareness behind the thoughts, the witness behind the voice in your head, the one who sees the pain, but is not consumed by it, the one who hears the inner critic, but knows it is not the truth. When you realize you are not your story, you begin to soften. You begin to treat yourself differently. You begin to see that the wounds were never your identity, that the guilt was never your name, that the shame was never your nature. They were clouds, temporary, and you are the sky. Let the breath return now. Let it be deep, gentle, and spacious. Inhale, exhale. Each breath, a soft hand untying the knots you didn't know you were holding. Each breath, a gentle invitation to come back to what you are not, what you were told. Sometimes the story says you're broken. That's okay. Stories can say anything. But your breath never lies. Your breath says, I am here. I am whole. I am now. Sometimes the story says you've wasted too much time, that it's too late. But the moment you notice that thought, you've already stepped outside the story. You've already returned to presence. and presence has no timeline, no judgment, just this moment, just this breath, just this being. Let yourself remember, now you have lived many versions of you, some confident, some afraid, some kind, some closed off. All of them part of the journey, all of them temporary expressions, but none of them are the full truth. You are not your mistakes. You are not your titles. You are not your successes or failures. You are not the face others see. You are the awareness inside, unshaken. You are the silent space that watches each version rise and fall like waves, like dreams, like passing seasons. And the more you rest in this space, the less power the old stories hold. They may return, but they return to a different host, a host who no longer believes every word, a host who can say, that was a chapter, but it's not the whole book. Feel into your heart now. Let it open, if even just a little. Let the walls crack. Let the breath move through it. The heart does not need to carry the whole story. It does not need to remember every pain to remain whole. It only needs to feel this moment, to beat here, to soften here, to forgive here. And maybe tonight, that forgiveness begins with you. Not for what you did, not for what happened, but for who you've believed yourself to be. Forgiveness for having carried a story that was never yours to hold. Forgiveness for mistaking fear for truth. Forgiveness for abandoning yourself in the chaos. Whisper now softly, I forgive myself for forgetting who I am. I forgive myself for believing I was the story. Let those words echo through your breath. Let them settle into your bones. Let them become the new voice inside your chest, not shouting, not judging, just reminding. You are not your story. You are not what happened to you. You are the one who survived. You are the one who breathed through it all. You are the one who returned. Even now, as the old stories rise again, you are meeting them differently. Not with blind belief, not with panic, but with awareness, with presence, with breath. And that changes everything. Zen does not promise you a life without stories, but it offers you the truth that you are more than the narrative, that you can watch the mind tell its tales and still rest in the quiet place beyond them. Let that be your home tonight, that quiet place, that space beyond the story, that stillness underneath the noise. Let it cradle you. Let it remind you you do not need to rewrite the past to be free from it. You only need to see that it is a story and gently lay it down. Return again now to your breath. It is not dramatic. It is not urgent, but it is true. It is faithful. And in it, you return to the part of you that has never been defined, never been broken, never been separate. Just this breath, just this moment. And the story loses its grip. Silence is the greatest teacher. In the world you live in, silence is often seen as emptiness, as absence, as something awkward to be filled with words or noise or explanation. But Zen knows better. Zen knows that silence is not empty at all. It is full of presence, full of clarity, full of all the truths that language can never fully touch. When you sit in silence, really sit, without expectation, without resistance, something ancient begins to stir within you. A stillness that does not depend on external calm, a knowing that does not require proof. You may think you need more knowledge, more guidance, more answers, but often what you truly need is less noise, less mental clutter, less chasing. In silence, the chasing stops. In silence, you do not have to prove anything, understand everything, or become someone better. You only have to listen, not with your ears, but with your whole being. Listen to the rhythm of your breath. Listen to the spaces between thoughts. Listen to the gentle hum of your own existence. You don't need to find the truth. The truth has been speaking this entire time. You've just been too loud to hear it. Zen masters speak in riddles, not to confuse, but to break the mind open, to push it to its edge, and then drop it into silence, into that place where words fall away and only presence remains. There is a famous Zen koan. What is the sound of one hand clapping? You cannot answer it with logic. That's the point. It is meant to exhaust the thinking mind and lead you to the space beyond it, the space where real insight lives, the space of silence. Close your eyes if they are not already closed. Breathe. Let each inhale bring in stillness, and each exhale carry away the urge to figure it all out. You've been figuring things out your entire life. Maybe tonight is for unlearning. Maybe tonight is for laying it all down, the roles, the questions, the urgency, and entering the temple of silence. Here in this temple, there are no rules. There is no performance. There is only being. And in this being, the mind begins to quiet, not because you force it, but because it no longer needs to speak. It no longer needs to prove its worth. It no longer needs to narrate every moment. Silence becomes the teacher, because silence does not judge. It does not rush. It does not correct. It holds space for all that you are and all that you are not. It holds space for the confusion, the hope, the exhaustion, the longing, and it does not try to fix any of it. It simply says, stay, just as you are. And in that staying, healing begins, not because something is added, but because something false is let go. In silence, you stop trying to be spiritual. You stop trying to be calm. You stop trying to be good. You just are. And that just being is the most sacred thing of all. It is the essence of Zen. Beneath the questions of who you are, what your purpose is, where you're going, there is something already whole, already clear, already resting in the stillness that has no name. Let yourself feel it now, not with the mind, with the breath, with the heart, with the empty space between thoughts. This is not a performance. This is a homecoming. Feel how silence is not passive. It is alive. It vibrates through your body. It hums through the floor beneath you. It pulses through the air. It is not a lack of sound. It is a fullness beyond sound. And when you settle into it, when you allow yourself to drop beneath the noise, you begin to hear what cannot be heard with ears. You begin to hear your own knowing. Not the knowledge that comes from books or even from teachers, but the knowing that comes from still presence. That says, I am here. I am whole. I do not need to chase or defend or justify. I do not need to speak to be real. I do not need to be understood to exist. I simply am, and that is enough. That is more than enough. There is no need to translate this experience into words. No need to explain it to yourself. Let it stay wordless. Let it live as breath, as heartbeat, as warmth. Let it teach you in the language of silence. You do not need to hold on. You do not need to make sense of this moment. The mind may try. Let it. And then return again. To the breath, to the quiet, to the place beneath needing and wanting and knowing. This is where Zen lives, not in thoughts, but in the stillness between them. Not in achievement, but in the letting go of striving. Let go now. Let go of needing to know. Let go of needing to change. Let go of needing to do. Just sit, just breathe, just be. In this silence, you may meet yourself more deeply than ever before. Not the self you show the world, not the self shaped by others' perceptions, but the raw, vast, formless self that has always been waiting beneath the noise. This self does not need a story. This self does not need a name. This self simply watches, simply breathes, simply holds space. And when you rest in this self, even for a few moments, something in you changes. A tension softens. A fear dissolves. A truth is remembered. Not learned, remembered. Because this truth was never gone. It was only buried beneath noise. Now, as you rest, let the silence deepen. Let it become a cocoon. Let it wrap around your tired thoughts. Let it embrace the parts of you that have been overworked, overstimulated, misunderstood. Let it speak not with words, but with peace, with permission, with stillness. And know that this silence is always available. Even in the busiest moments, even in the most chaotic mind, it is always just one breath away. You are not the noise. You are the space that contains it. You are not the story. You are the silence that holds it. Stay here. Breathe here. Let silence teach you what no voice ever could. Let it guide you home, not to some ideal version of yourself, but to the one that has always been. Whole, gentle, aware, enough. The mirror never reacts, no matter what passes before it, joy or sorrow, beauty or ugliness, truth or illusion. It remains clear, unshaken, and silent. It reflects, but it does not judge. It reveals, but it does not cling. And in this, the mirror becomes a perfect teacher. Zen invites you to become like the mirror, to witness your thoughts, emotions, and experiences without needing to grasp, reject, or change them. This is not passivity. This is clarity. This is presence. When your mind becomes the mirror, you stop getting entangled in every passing moment. You allow life to unfold, to rise and fall, without losing yourself in its waves. You begin to understand that peace is not the absence of emotion, but the absence of resistance to emotion. That you can feel deeply love, fully mourn sincerely, and still remain whole, still remain centered. But to do this, you must stop believing that you are what you reflect. A mirror can show fire, but it does not burn. It can reflect ice, but it does not freeze. So too, your awareness can hold pain without being wounded, hold fear without becoming afraid. The suffering comes not from the experience, but from the reaction to it, the push, the pull, the judgment. And Zen asks you to lay those down, to simply observe, to reflect without attachment, without drama, without ego. Sit now in that space of gentle observation. Let the thoughts arise. Let the feelings move. Let the memories surface, but do not chase them. Do not flinch from them. Let them appear as images in the mirror of your mind, and see how when left untouched, they begin to dissolve. The mirror returns to stillness, not by effort, but by non-interference. Breathe into that stillness. Breathe into the part of you that watches quietly, that sees clearly, that neither grasps nor resists. You may find yourself pulled by worry, by desire, by the past. That's natural. But each time you can return. You can return to the mirror, to the breath, to the open, silent space that sees everything and holds nothing. Let this be your resting place. Let this be your truth. In this stillness, you will begin to see things as they are not as your stories shape them to be. You will begin to see yourself not as the one who must constantly fix, achieve, or defend, but as the one who simply sees. There is a story in Zen of a master who held up a mirror and asked his student, "Where does the reflection go when you turn away?" The student could not answer. The master smiled and said, "The reflection was never real. Only the mirror remains. This is the secret. The reflections, the fears, the hopes, the identities come and go. But the mirror remains, you remain, and the more you rest in that awareness, the less control the reflections have. They appear and you bow to them. They pass and you remain still. This is not detachment. This is compassion without entanglement. This is love without possession. This is wisdom without drama. Let the breath guide you deeper into this space. Let the exhale release whatever you've been gripping. Let the inhale remind you that you are not here to control, only to be present. Even now, there may be thoughts that try to pull you, questions, doubts, lingering emotions. That's okay. Bow to them, smile at them, and return. Return to the mirror. Return to the stillness. In this stillness, your suffering becomes visible not to punish you, but to be understood, to be seen clearly, to be held in silence until it resolves itself. The mirror does not need to force change. It simply reveals what is. And in that honest reflection, transformation begins. Not through control, but through clarity. Not through effort, but through presence. You may ask, how do I live like this? In a world that constantly demands reaction. The answer is, you pause. You observe. You let your responses come from the mirror, not from the storm. You let your words arise from silence, not from noise. And with practice, this becomes natural. This becomes your way. Let yourself feel now the peace of not needing to fix everything, the freedom of not needing to prove anything, the gentleness of simply observing your experience. You are not failing because you feel lost. You are not weak because emotions move through you. You are the mirror that notices, that reflects, that holds everything without becoming anything. And in that noticing, in that holding, you begin to heal. Not by doing more, but by reacting less. By creating space between stimulus and response, between thought and action. In that space, freedom lives. In that space, compassion lives. In that space, you live not as a character in the story, but as the quiet observer who sees the whole unfolding. Let your mind rest here. Let your breath become your anchor. Let the silence between words become the language you trust. Even when emotions rise, even when the world feels overwhelming, you can remain like the mirror, soft open, unshaken. This is not numbness. This is depth. This is the ocean beneath the waves. This is the sky behind the clouds, and the more you rest in it, the more resilient you become. The world may throw storms. Thoughts may rise and fall, but the mirror remains. You remain. Keep returning to this place. It is always here. Always available. Just one breath away, one pause away, one choice away. You do not need to escape life to find peace. You only need to stop reacting long enough to see clearly. You only need to become still enough to reflect what truly is. And in that reflection, you begin to know yourself, not the surface, but the source. Not the reflection, but the mirror itself. There is a rhythm to everything. The tide moves in and out. The moon waxes and wanes. The breath rises and falls. And just like nature, your life too follows a rhythm. Yet so often you forget this. You want happiness to be constant, energy to be unbroken, clarity to be immediate. But this desire to remain always up is what causes so much suffering. In Zen, it is said, do not resist the rhythm. Do not seek permanence in an impermanent world. Instead, learn to move with the wave. When joy comes, let it soak through you like sunlight through leaves. When sadness comes, let it pass like clouds across an open sky. Neither clinging to the pleasant nor pushing away the unpleasant, simply riding the rhythm. This is harmony, not the absence of lows, but the graceful movement between peaks and valleys. Can you feel that now in your breath? The way it comes and goes without your effort. The way it knows what to do. Inhale, exhale, and in between a space, a quiet pause. That pause is where stillness lives. That pause is your gateway to peace. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to hold your breath at the top or bottom. Just trust the rhythm. Let go of control. Let go of wanting to stay in one place. The seasons change and so do you. Your thoughts, your emotions, your circumstances, they rise, they linger, they pass. But your awareness, your deep inner witness remains. Let that be your anchor, not the passing rhythm, but the silent awareness of it. You are not the wave, you are the ocean. You are not the inhale, you are the presence that feels it. Sit with that knowing now. Even if your life feels chaotic, your mind noisy, your body restless underneath, there is rhythm. A rhythm you were born into. A rhythm that never abandoned you. When the mind is tired, it resists this rhythm. It wants everything now. It fears the valleys. It fights the slowing down. But you are not the mind. You are the one observing it. Let it panic. Let it rush. And you slow down. You breathe. You trust. You remember that even the night is not the enemy. It is part of the rhythm. Day feeds action. Night feeds reflection. If you are here now, listening, it means something in you is ready to remember, ready to drop into that natural movement, that dance of being resting, feeling letting go, that rhythm of breath, of heartbeat, of silence. Sometimes you may feel stuck, like nothing is changing, but even stillness is part of the rhythm. Even pausing is sacred. Trees do not bloom all year. Rivers do not flow at equal speed. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to not know. You are allowed to be right where you are. You do not have to fix your life tonight. You do not have to figure everything out. You only have to breathe, to feel, to remember the deeper pulse that moves through all things. Let it move through you. Let it wash away the hardness. Let it soften what's been clenched. Let it carry you gently, without needing to know where you're going. The rhythm knows. Your body knows. Your breath knows. You don't need to control the unfolding. You only need to stay awake within it, present, kind, receptive. There is such wisdom in this way of being. It is not lazy. It is not passive. It is powerful in its surrender. And it opens the heart to life, not just the easy parts, but all of it. The fear, the longing, the tenderness. It lets you live fully without needing to hold on. This is the rhythm of Zen rise and fall. Appear and vanish. Speak and be silent. Try and rest. You do not have to choose one over the other. You only need to let them dance together. Let your thoughts rise and then let them pass. Let your emotions swell and then let them dissolve. Let your doubts shout and then let them fade into the hush of night. Nothing stays. And that is not a curse. It is a gift. The gift of freedom. The gift of release. The gift of knowing you are never stuck. There is always movement, even when you can't feel it. Like seeds germinating in darkness. Like tides shifting beneath frozen ice. Trust that something is moving. Even in you, even now. Especially now. When you sit in stillness and let the breath move through you, you align yourself with that universal rhythm. You stop fighting the flow. You stop trying to be anywhere else. And that is when peace comes, not as a reward, but as a return to your natural state, a return to softness, to balance, to the rhythm that has always been carrying you, even through the hardest moments. Let yourself surrender to it now. Inhale, feel the fullness. Exhale, feel the release. And in between, pause. That sacred pause. That is the space where insight arises, where healing takes root, where the maze loses its grip. This is the doorway, and you are already standing in it. No need to knock, no need to wait. Just breathe, just follow, just trust. The rhythm of your breath is the rhythm of the universe, the rhythm of forgiveness, the rhythm of letting go, the rhythm of returning home to what was never gone. Rest in that rhythm. Let it lull your mind. Let it soothe your body. Let it whisper, "You're safe now. You're right where you need to be." There is something within you that has never been broken. No matter how many times your heart has been hurt, no matter how many disappointments have washed over you, No matter how lost you may have felt in moments of darkness, this essence remains untouched, unmoved, eternal. Zen calls it the original nature, the knowing beyond thought, the clarity beyond confusion. You have touched it before in fleeting moments when your breath suddenly deepened in the presence of trees, when silence fell over your mind as you gazed at the stars, when a wave of peace arrived without any reason. That is your true home. That is your unmoving center. But most of the time, you are pulled away from it by fear, by desire, by memory, by projections. You chase approval, avoid pain, gather experiences hoping to feel whole again. And yet, nothing out there can bring you what you already carry within. So tonight, I invite you to stop searching, to sit with yourself, to breathe into the space that does not need to be fixed. You are not broken. You are burdened. And there is a difference. Burdens can be laid down, one by one, gently, lovingly, with no need to force, just awareness, just breath. Let's begin with the weight of the past. How much are you still carrying? Old regrets, missed chances, the echo of words never said or words said too harshly. Let them rise. Let them pass. The past is a shadow. It cannot hurt you unless you chase it. You don't need to forget to be free. You only need to stop clinging. The pain was real, yes, but the replaying of it again and again is a habit, and habits can be softened. Right now, as you exhale, feel one thread of that past loosen. It doesn't have to leave all at once. It only has to begin. Now feel the weight of expectations, your own and others. Who you think you should be, what you should have done by now, the relentless comparisons. Breathe. Let those thoughts drift like leaves down a stream. You are not here to be anyone but yourself. Not here to win a race, but to walk your own path. You do not owe perfection to the world. Only presence, only truth, only the quiet strength of being exactly who you are. There is freedom in this. Deep, simple, sacred freedom. And what about the fear of the future? The what-ifs that tighten your chest, the plans built out of worry rather than wisdom. Let them soften too. Let them dissolve. The future is not a place to arrive at. It is a direction to walk, one mindful step at a time. No map, no guarantees. Just breath, just awareness, just trust. Zen does not promise a life without difficulty. It offers a way to meet life without being shattered by it. And that way begins with coming home to yourself, right now. Not the version you think is acceptable, not the self you show the world, but the silent witness who watches all of it. The breath feels different when you drop into this space. Deeper, fuller. It no longer just feeds your body, it feeds your being. With every inhale, you return to yourself. With every exhale, you lay down what you no longer need. Your body knows this. Your breath knows this. And your heart, beneath all its defenses, longs for this. Let it open now, gently. There's no need to force. Just be. Feel the warmth of being held not by another, but by your own awareness, your own kindness, You've tried so hard for so long. You've carried so much. And now finally, you can rest. You can let go of the effort. Let go of needing to prove. Let go of trying to be enough. You already are. You always were. Even in your mess, even in your doubt, even in the ache of becoming. Zen is not about escaping life. It is about living with eyes open, heart, open breath, steady. About being fully here, in this body, in this moment, even if it's painful, especially if it's painful. Because that's where healing begins, not in avoidance, but in presence. And presence is what you are, not something to achieve, something to remember. So remember now, as you breathe, as you soften, as you surrender the endless doing and allow the being to rise, there is nothing wrong with you. There never was. Only layers, only forgetting. And now remembering begins. In this stillness, in this silence, in this breath. If your mind drifts, let it. If emotions rise, let them. You do not need to control anything. You only need to witness. Witness with kindness, with curiosity, with patience. This is the path. This is the way. Not a destination, not a solution. A way of walking, a way of seeing, a way of loving even the parts of you you've tried to hide. All of it belongs. All of it can be held. And the more you hold it without judgment, the more it begins to shift on its own. Healing is not a task. It is a space. And you are creating that space now with your breath, your presence, your surrender. Let yourself feel safe in this. Let yourself trust it. Life does not need to be figured out tonight. You do not need to be anyone else. You only need to rest in the truth of your being. To remember what you are beneath the roles and noise. And in that remembering, you come alive. Not in a loud way. In a quiet, rooted, radiant way. Like a candle that does not shout, but shines. You are that light. You've always been. Let it burn now, not to impress, not to prove, but to be, to illuminate your own way home. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be whole. And wholeness includes the cracks, the pain, the beauty, the impermanence, all of it. So breathe into that wholeness. Let it hold you. Let it sing you to sleep, not with answers, but with presence. Not with plans, but with peace. Not with striving, but with surrender. You are safe. You are home. Have you ever noticed how loud the world becomes when your own heart is uncertain? Every little sound, every fleeting glance, every unfinished conversation echoes louder than it should, as if the outside noise is feeding off your inner unrest. This is not your fault. It's simply what happens when the mind forgets how to rest. When the inner compass spins without direction, when your thoughts race from one unresolved story to another, from guilt to hope, from regret to what-ifs. But you don't have to live like that. You don't have to believe every story your mind tells you. Not every thought is a truth. Not every memory needs to be replayed. And not every fear deserves your attention. You are not your thoughts. You are the space in which thoughts come and go. You are not the storm. You are the sky that holds the storm. Even now, In this moment, you can choose to return. Return to what is deeper than the noise. Return to what doesn't ask you to perform or prove or please. Return to the soft rhythm of your breath and the quiet whisper of being. Can you feel that? The breath, steady, unwavering. It has never abandoned you, even when you abandoned yourself. Inhale gently, as if you are drawing life into your soul. Exhale fully, as if releasing centuries of tension. There is no rush. There is no goal. Only this breath. Only this moment. Only the invitation to drop below the noise. In Zen, the masters speak of no mind, not as a blank space, but as the clear, unobstructed awareness that sees everything without getting tangled. You have touched that before, in the pause before sleep, in the quiet, after tears, in the stillness of morning light, touching your skin. That space of no mind is your refuge. It is always here. But the mind, conditioned and restless, wants to do something. Even now, it may be trying to understand these words, trying to fix something, solve something, turn this into yet another task. Gently smile at that impulse. It means your mind is trying to help, but you are safe now. You don't need to fix anything tonight. Just feel. Just listen. Just let go. The body responds when you soften. The shoulders drop. The jaw releases. The belly relaxes. And your whole being begins to sink, not in defeat, but in return. Like a boat releasing its anchor into calm waters. That's what presence feels like. That's what returning to yourself means. You don't have to climb out of your thoughts. You only have to see them as they are passing clouds, not permanent structures. You've carried so many expectations, some inherited, some self-imposed, some born from fear. Expectations about who you must be, how you must feel, what you must achieve. But look where it's brought you. To this moment. This quiet. This longing for something simpler. Something truer. And that truth is not far. It's already within you, waiting to be felt. You don't need to travel to temples or read sacred texts to find peace. You only need to be still enough to hear the silence beneath your thoughts. Still enough to notice the gaps. The gaps between one thought and the next. The silence between one breath and the next. The space between what you fear and what actually is. In that space, everything opens. In that space, you meet yourself. Not the self you curate for others. Not the self that's trying to be loved. But the one who is already love. Already whole. Already free. Even if you don't feel it yet. Even if your heart still trembles. It's okay. The trembling is not a flaw. It is simply the heart remembering how to beat in its own rhythm again. Trust that. Trust the trembling. Trust the letting go. The path of Zen is not about silencing the mind by force. It is about befriending it so deeply that it no longer needs to scream. It is about holding your thoughts gently, watching them drift like petals on a stream. You don't need to push them away. Just don't follow them. Just stay here, in your breath, in your body, in this moment. The mind will wander again, and that's okay. Bring it back with kindness, not with judgment, not with frustration, just with presence. over and over, like returning home, like turning on a light in a familiar room. You are not doing this wrong. You are not failing at peace. You are practicing. You are remembering. And every time you return, you deepen the path. You become more rooted, more aware, more alive. Not in the loud, dramatic way, but in the quiet, spacious way of someone who is no longer afraid of being alone with themselves. You don't have to fight anymore. You don't have to run. You can stay. You can rest. You can listen. And in that listening, something miraculous happens. The body begins to heal. The heart begins to trust. The mind begins to loosen its grip. And you begin to remember what you truly are not. The noise, not the fear, not the ache of never enough, but the calm beneath it all. The still lake reflecting the moon, the empty bowl that holds everything, the breath that carries no judgment. Let yourself be carried now, not by effort, but by surrender. Let the breath rock you. Let the silence hold you. Let the darkness of night become your cocoon, your refuge, your soft place to dissolve. There is nothing wrong with dissolving. Caterpillars dissolve before they become butterflies. Humans dissolve old identities before they remember their essence. Let yourself dissolve into the now, into the breath, into the deep, vast space of your own being. Nothing is missing here. Nothing is lacking. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not broken. You are simply remembering. You are simply shedding what no longer serves. You are simply breathing. And that is enough. That has always been enough. Let go now. Let go of the need to be strong. Let go of the need to be understood. Let go of the need to hold everything together. You were never meant to do it all alone. The breath has always been with you. The silence has always waited. And now, you have arrived, not at a final destination, but at a beginning. A soft, sacred, tender beginning, where you no longer run from yourself, where you no longer chase after peace, where you simply sit, simply breathe, simply be. And in being, you become everything you were looking for. Rest here. Return here. You are home. There is a quiet sorrow that lives inside many hearts, often hidden beneath daily routines, polite smiles, and the busyness of getting through life. It is the sorrow of not knowing how to forgive, not others, but oneself. Maybe you carry a moment you wish you could undo, a decision made in fear, a word said in anger, a truth you abandoned. And perhaps it wasn't grand or terrible, but it left a mark, a silent echo that resurfaces at night when the world goes quiet and your own inner voice becomes louder. You try to move on, but sometimes that echo pulls you back. It asks, why did you do that? Why didn't you know better? It whispers doubt, guilt, shame, regret. And in that moment, you feel small again. But in this space now, I invite you to stop fleeing, to turn gently toward that echo, and listen not with judgment, not to punish, but to understand. Because you cannot heal what you will not face. You cannot forgive what you still try to forget. Buddhism teaches that clinging is suffering. But what we often forget is that we can cling to pain just as fiercely as we cling to pleasure. You may be clinging to guilt because it makes you feel responsible or because you believe you deserve it. But guilt is not the same as growth. Shame is not the same as wisdom. Carrying your past like a burden does not make you holy. It only makes you tired. Tonight, I ask you to lay that burden down. Not because what happened wasn't real, but because your suffering does not serve anyone. You do not erase pain by holding on to it. You transmute it by meeting it with compassion. So breathe now, slowly, gently. Imagine each breath as a soft light moving through the darker corridors of your memory, not to burn anything down, but to illuminate it, to see clearly, to feel truthfully, to love what once felt unlovable. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to awaken. And sometimes awakening begins with the raw humility of seeing yourself as you were, not with disdain, but with tenderness. Yes, you stumbled. Yes, you fell. But so does every traveler. And what matters is not how long you lay there, but whether you rise. The Buddha himself lived many lives before enlightenment, lives filled with desire, confusion, failure. Each life taught him something. Each mistake carried a seed. So too with you. Within your regret is a teaching. Within your shame is an invitation. Can you see it? Can you soften just a little? Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is remembering without the poison. It is telling the story of your life without tightening your jaw. It is feeling the memory and letting it pass through, not get stuck. Imagine now that version of you, the one who hurt, who feared, who didn't know better, standing in front of you. What do they look like? What do they feel like? Can you meet their eyes? Can you say to them, I see you. I understand. I forgive you. Say it softly, even if it feels hard, even if it feels strange. Say it again. I forgive you. Not to excuse, not to erase, but to free. To free that past version of you, and to free the present one. This moment is yours now. Not the past, not the voice of judgment. Only this moment, only this breath. This is your clean slate. Not because the past is gone, but because you are no longer chained to it. Let it be. Let it drift like a leaf down river. Let the waters carry it as they carry all things to the ocean of transformation. In Zen, they say the flower does not try to fix the bud, it simply blooms. So too must you. You cannot go back and unbud yourself. You can only open. Open in the direction of light. Open in the direction of truth. Even if it's messy. Even if you don't feel ready. Forgiveness is not a one-time act. It's a rhythm, a practice, a returning. Some days it will be easy. Some days it will ache. But still return. Still say the words, I forgive you. Let it echo into the quiet spaces of your being. Let it sink into the bones that carried the weight. Let it reach the child in you who always just wanted to be loved. You are loved, not for your perfection, but for your willingness to grow, for your courage to face the mirror and stay. You do not need to earn peace. You only need to stop pushing it away. It's already here, in your breath, in this moment, in the gentle rhythm of my voice reaching you through the dark. Let it wash over you Let it break open the dam. If you need to cry, cry. If you feel numb, let that be okay too. The path is not linear. Some nights are quiet, others are loud with feeling. But every night brings you closer. Every breath brings you deeper. Into your own heart, into your own healing. You are not who you were. You never will be again. And that is the grace of impermanence. The past cannot hold you unless you hold it. The chains are illusions. The cage was made of thought. And you, dear one, hold the key. Use it. Open the door. Step into now. This now, where the breath is calm, where your body can rest, where your soul is safe. You've carried enough. You've punished yourself long enough. Lay it down. Rest your mind. Rest your heart. You are not wrong for being human. You are not bad for having pain. You are simply learning. You are simply shedding. And tonight, you shed another layer. You release another weight. You walk lighter into the mystery of who you are becoming. Let that becoming unfold. Let the silence cradle you now. Let forgiveness settle like dew on your spirit. No more needing to prove. No more needing to explain. Just being. Just breathing. Just finally free. There are moments when you feel invisible, not because the world cannot see you, but because you have forgotten how to see yourself. You pass through days like a shadow walking behind someone else's life, responding, fulfilling, adjusting, pleasing, until you no longer recognize the sound of your own heartbeat. And in the quiet, a question begins to form. Who am I really when no one is watching? It's not an easy question. It shakes the roles you've played, the expectations you've inherited, the masks you wear so naturally. Now they feel like skin. But the truth is, you were not born to perform. You were not born to shrink, to mold, to disappear. You were born to be wildly, gently, unashamedly to be. And yet somewhere along the way, the world taught you otherwise. Taught you that love must be earned, that you must speak softer, take up less space, apologize for your dreams. So you dimmed. You edited your laughter. You folded your edges in until the ache of erasing yourself became louder than your fear of being seen. Tonight, let's open that drawer you locked long ago, the one with your forgotten voice inside. Not to scream, but to remember. You are not here to be what they expect. You are here to be what you already are. Zen teaches that the true self is not something you create. It is something you uncover, like a statue already carved beneath the marble. And the chisel is not ambition or approval, but stillness, silence, presence. So breathe now slowly. Inhale the truth. Exhale the pretending. Let your shoulders fall from the weight of performance. Let your spine soften back into its natural dignity. You do not need to act wise. You already carry ancient wisdom in your cells. You do not need to act kind. Your heart, when untouched by fear, is a wellspring of compassion. You do not need to act strong. Strength is the stillness that stays when everything else crumbles. Feel into that stillness now. It is not loud. It is not showy. It is the space between your thoughts. The quiet awareness that watches your pain without becoming it. That is you. The one who watches. The one who knows. Beneath the name, the gender, the stories, the scars, There is a field of presence untouched by all of it. This field does not compare, does not strive. It does not need applause. It simply is. Like a mountain, like the sky, like the moon resting in silence above all the noise. Return to that place. With every breath, come closer. Peel back the layers. Not all at once. Just one, and then another. No rush, no urgency. You are not late to your own becoming. You are exactly where you need to be. And in this place, you get to meet yourself again. Not the image, not the reputation, but the being, the breath, the gaze behind your gaze. Zen does not ask you to become better. It asks you to remember the goodness you forgot, to reclaim the innocence that was buried under fear, to stand not in perfection, but in presence. And in presence, you are already enough. Say it to yourself now, not as a mantra, as a truth. I am enough. Even if no one claps, even if no one notices, even if all I do tonight is breathe, I am enough. And in that enoughness, there is peace. There is freedom. You no longer need to chase wholeness. You only need to stop running from it. It is here. It has always been. Waiting in the quiet. Waiting in the breath. Waiting in the part of you that is not afraid to just be. So let's practice being now. No fixing, no improving, no branding, just being. Let the breath come and go like a tide. Let your thoughts pass like clouds. Let your body rest like a tree no longer fighting the wind. You are safe. You are held. You are seen not by the world, but by your own soul. And that is the deepest seeing. That is the gaze that heals. Tonight, you reclaim the power of being, not for anyone else, for yourself. Because you deserve to return, because you deserve to rest, because you deserve to remember that your existence is not a mistake, not a task, not a performance. It is a miracle, a mystery, a flame still burning in the dark. Protect that flame. Let it flicker. Let it glow. You don't need to shout to be radiant. You don't need to fight to be worthy. You just need to stay. Stay in the breath. Stay in the softness. Stay in the now. Because the now is where you are real. The now is where you are whole. The now is where the masks fall and the truth returns. And the truth is this: you are not invisible. You are simply waiting to see yourself again. So open your eyes inward, gently, kindly, without judgment. You will find someone beautiful there. Someone who tried, who cried, who kept going. Someone who deserves to be loved by you. Start there, with your own love, with your own seeing, with your own breath, and let that be enough. Let that be the light you follow home. There are nights when the silence feels too loud, when the ticking of the clock becomes a metronome of your own unease, when even rest feels like a distant shore, and your mind is a boat without anchor, drifting, searching, never landing. You lie there body still, but thoughts rushing, replaying old scenes, rehearsing future worries, wondering what's missing, or why the weight inside you doesn't match the world outside. And it is in these nights when no one is watching and no one is judging, that the truth softly reveals itself. You are not tired because of what you did today. You are tired because of how much you resisted your own inner world. You tried to hold everything together, to pretend you weren't overwhelmed, to manage emotions by suppressing them, to smile when you wanted to scream. But Zen teaches what you resist persists. What you avoid grows teeth. What you lock away will knock louder. And so tonight, instead of locking another door inside yourself, let's open one slowly, without fear, without needing to fix anything. Just open. The room behind that door may be messy. It may be filled with forgotten feelings, ungrieved losses, or dreams you buried when they stopped being convenient. That's okay. This is not a judgment. This is a homecoming. You are returning to yourself, and the self is not a curated museum. It is a living space, sometimes cluttered, sometimes cracked, but always sacred. So breathe deeply. This is your breath. This is your moment. No need to label the emotions that arise. Just let them be. Let sadness sit beside you without asking it to leave. Let fear whisper without needing to shout back. Let Lisa longing stretch its arms across your chest without pushing it away. In Zen, we do not eliminate suffering. We become intimate with it. We study its texture, its rhythm, its voice. And in doing so, it softens, because suffering only tightens when it feels unseen. So see it now, not as a failure, but as part of the human landscape. Like mountains in your heart, like rivers through your history. And each breath you take is a path winding through that terrain. Walk it gently. Walk it like a friend. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not a problem. You are a process, and the process is sacred, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts, because pain is a teacher with no soft words, but with deep truths. It shows you what matters. It shows you where the wound still lives. And in that showing, it gives you choice to turn toward or turn away. Tonight, we turn toward together, in stillness, in breath, in faith. You do not need to understand everything to begin healing. You only need to stay present. Healing is not linear. It is a spiral, revisiting the same lessons with deeper compassion. You may cry for something tonight that you thought you already healed. That is not failure. That is deepening. Let it deepen. Let the tears come if they come. They are not interruptions. They are medicine. They cleanse not just the body, but the soul. They release what words cannot carry. So breathe. Let each inhale invite softness. Let each exhale carry surrender. You are not alone in this room. You are accompanied by all your past selves who longed for peace. They are with you now, watching you choose presence over denial, stillness over chaos, compassion over criticism. You are their healing. You are their prayer answered. Let that settle into your bones. You are the calm they never knew, the breath they held too long, the gentleness they needed. So be gentle now. You don't have to earn your way back to wholeness. You just have to remember you never left. The mind creates distance. The breath brings return. Return to the now. Return to the body. Return to this sacred unfolding. Nothing to solve, nothing to chase. Just this. Just you. Just breath. And in that breath, you'll find the stillness you thought was lost. The stillness that doesn't depend on quiet surroundings, but on inner allowance. Let yourself allow. Allow the imperfection. Allow the questions. Allow the slow, unglamorous work of healing. There is no rush. This moment is already enough. This breath is already home. And from here, you may drift into sleep, not as an escape, but as a gentle continuation of this return. Your dreams may speak to you tonight. They may offer symbols, old faces, or quiet revelations. Receive them with curiosity, not fear. The unconscious, like the sky, only appears dark because it is deep. Let its stars guide you. Let the unknown cradle you. Let the mystery be safe again. You are not lost. You are unfolding. You are not falling apart. You are falling inward. And inward is where peace lives, not as an idea, but as a rhythm, a truth, a breath. Stay with that rhythm. Trust its wisdom. Let go of needing to control the journey. The river does not need your paddling. It needs your surrender. Float now. Let the current hold you. Let the night hold you. Let yourself rest in the knowing that you are enough. Even in the mess, even in the questions, even in the becoming, you are enough. And that is the most radical healing of all. There comes a moment when you stop asking, "What is wrong with me?" and begin to wonder, "What has the world taught me to fear about simply being myself?" This shift, small as it seems, is the beginning of your liberation, not through action, but through recognition. All your life, you have been handed scripts to follow. Be polite, be productive, be useful, be less emotional, be more agreeable. You've learned how to tighten your chest when you cry, how to smile through pain, how to measure your worth by how little you ask for. And now, in the silence of this night, when the world no longer watches and the moon hangs still above your breath, you begin to feel the exhaustion of all those performances. The body remembers. The breath remembers. The soul remembers. And they are asking you gently but insistently to let go, to soften, to return. But how do you return to something you've been taught to hide? How do you trust the sound of your own voice after silencing it for so long? This is where Zen enters, not as a commandment, but as a quiet invitation. Not to become something else, but to come back to what you've always been. You are not your achievements. You are not your mistakes. You are not the opinions of others layered like dust on your skin. You are the one who sees, the one who hears, the one who breathes. This awareness, so subtle, so easily missed, is the core of your being. And you don't need to fix anything to access it. You only need to pause, to listen, to let the thoughts pass like birds through the sky. You are not the birds. You are the sky. Let the worry come and go. Let the fear swirl and fade. Let the longing visit without becoming your identity. Every emotion you feel is real, but not permanent. Zen whispers to you, this too will pass. So breathe. Let go of the idea that you must do something extraordinary to be worthy of peace. Let go of the idea that your rest must be earned. Peace is not a prize, it is your birthright. It waits for no conditions. It requires no justification. It only asks for your presence. And presence is found right here in this breath, in this heartbeat, in this soft return to yourself. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to stop striving. Because striving is what the world taught you to survive, but it is not how you heal. You heal through gentleness. You heal through permission. You heal through the courage to be with what is without turning away. So stay. Stay with the sensation of your breath rising and falling. Stay with the discomfort without judging it. Stay with the silence without needing to fill it. There is wisdom here, in this very moment, in the quiet between thoughts, in the stillness between heartbeats. The mind may protest. It will say, but what about tomorrow? What about my failures? What if I never get better? Smile gently at the mind. Thank it for trying to protect you. Then return to your breath. You don't need to believe every thought. Thoughts are not facts. They are clouds. Let them pass. Let the blue sky of awareness open again and again. In this sky, you are safe. You are not your story. You are the awareness beneath the story. And that awareness cannot be damaged. It cannot be shamed. It cannot be taken. It is who you are when all else falls away. So let it rise now. Let it surround you like a warm light. Let it remind you that your existence, even in stillness, even in uncertainty, is holy. You do not have to prove anything tonight. You do not have to fix yourself. You only have to breathe and let the breath lead you home. Let it soften the knots in your chest. Let it smooth the furrows in your brow. Let it cradle you like a mother does a child, without condition, without demand. Just presence, just love, just now. Zen is not a philosophy of escape. It is a practice of turning toward what is, and what is here now is enough. Your breath is enough. Your body is enough. Your being is enough. Rest in that truth. Let it rock you. Let it hold you. You are not lost. You are awakening, slowly, gently, honestly, in your own time, in your own way. This journey is not a race. There is no finish line, only deeper seeing, only deeper surrender. And tonight, you are exactly where you need to be. Here, breathing, listening, remembering. The world may never teach you to honor your softness, but you can. You can reclaim it. You can make it your strength. You can make it your guide. So soften now, not because you failed, but because you are brave, because you are no longer running from yourself, because you are finally ready to be held not by another, but by your own presence. That is the greatest freedom. That is the deepest peace. That is the beginning of a life lived in truth. You are free to rest now. You are free to be just as you are. Nothing more, nothing less. Just this. Just breath. Just peace. You wake in the night, not because of noise, but because of a stirring deep within something wordless and ancient, calling you back to yourself, a presence beneath the surface of your thoughts, quiet but insistent, like a stream flowing beneath frozen ground, always moving, always alive, even when unseen. You open your eyes in the dark room and realize it is not the outer world keeping you restless. It is the storm within a quiet desperation to understand, to belong, to be free. But what if freedom doesn't begin with understanding? What if it begins with surrender? In this silence, the teachings of Zen reach for you like a hand outstretched across centuries, not to pull you away from your life, but to pull you deeper into it, to remind you that even in your confusion, even in your fatigue, you are not broken. You are simply between the breaths of transformation, the inhale of becoming, and the exhale of release. Every fear you hold is a teacher in disguise. Every ache in your chest is the echo of something unspoken, waiting to be heard, not solved. We were taught to turn away from discomfort, to label it as failure or flaw. But Zen whispers that discomfort is the beginning of awakening. The wound is not the enemy. It is the place where the light comes in, where truth emerges raw and luminous, stripped of illusion. So as you lie here between yesterday and tomorrow, listen not with your ears, but with your breath. The rhythm of your body is already guiding you, like waves returning to shore, like leaves surrendering to the wind. Nothing in you needs to be forced. Everything in you already knows the way. Let go of the need to figure it all out. There is no finish line to this path. There is only presence. There is only this moment, and in this moment, you are already held. Let that truth soften you. Your jaw unclenches, your shoulders lower, your chest begins to rise and fall, not with effort, but with ease. You do not need to do anything. Your only task is to be here. This breath, this awareness, this stillness. The mind will resist. It will say, but what about my responsibilities, my regrets, my mistakes? And you can simply say back, yes, I see you. No fighting, no fixing, just witnessing, like a monk watching the clouds pass over a mountain peak. Detached, reverent, unhurried. You begin to understand that presence is not a skill you earn, but a state you return to. Underneath every distraction, every judgment, every craving, there is a still pool inside you, untouched by time. This is the place where Zen lives. Not in temples or books, but in you, in the quiet observation of what is. So return now, not because you must, but because you are finally ready to stop running. Return to the breath. Feel its texture, its temperature, its grace. Let it be your anchor and your wings. Inhale through the nose. Slowly. Exhale through the mouth, gently. Feel yourself melting into the moment like snow dissolving into water. You are not apart from life. You are life aware of itself, resting in its own mystery. Let the thoughts come. Let them dance. Let them tire. You are no longer their puppet. You are their witness. This shift changes everything. No longer tangled in the story, you are now the space in which the story unfolds. And this space is sacred. The old you, the one who rushed, who doubted, who clung, is not gone, but they are no longer steering. You are learning to step back, to bow to your own becoming. Like the lotus blooming from mud, your peace does not arise from perfection. It rises from depth, from having suffered and survived, from being cracked open by life and still choosing to love. You remember now, even when you felt most alone, the breath was with you. Even when your mind screamed, your soul whispered, "Stay," and you did. You're still here. That matters. That is enough. Let the breath now guide you deeper, not into sleep, but into truth, into the knowing that your worth is not conditional. You do not need to accomplish anything to deserve peace. You are not a project to be fixed. You are a presence to be felt. Your value is not in your usefulness, but in your being. And your being is a miracle. So rest now, not as escape, but as return. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough to listen. Listen to the silence that speaks louder than thought. Listen to the warmth beneath your ribs. Listen to the part of you that has always known the way home. You don't need more knowledge. You need more stillness. You don't need to do better. You need to be here, fully, honestly, gently. Let yourself be breathed by the universe. Let yourself be softened by your own permission. Zen does not demand transformation. It invites remembrance. And what you're remembering is that you are already whole, that even your brokenness is part of the pattern, that your healing is not a destination, but a return to the truth that was never lost, only covered. So, uncover it, layer by layer. Guilt, expectation, fear. Let them fall like old robes from your shoulders. You do not need them where you are going. Where you are going, there is only presence. There is home breath. There is only now. Feel the now, not with your mind, but with your body. The way your back sinks into the mattress. The way the air tastes as it enters your lungs. The way your thoughts slow when you stop chasing them. This is sacred. This is enough. This is the doorway to peace. And you are standing at its threshold, not by accident, but by alignment, by grace. You came here because something in you knew it was time, not to escape life, but to meet it more gently, not to change who you are, but to remember who you've always been. And as you lie here bathed in quiet, surrounded by breath and softness, you begin to feel the layers loosen. The anxiety unwinds, the mind quiets, the body rests. You are returning. You are remembering. And you are not alone. All beings who have walked this path before you, monks, sages, wanderers, are here with you now, in spirit, whispering through the stillness. You're doing it right. Just breathe. Just be. That's all Zen asks. That's all the present requires. not brilliance, not performance, just truth, just presence, just now. So let this be your practice tonight, not to improve, but to feel, not to strive, but to soften, not to reach for more, but to rest in what is. And in doing so, you become the very peace you've been searching for. Not because you found it outside, but because you stopped running from within. You are enough. You are safe. You are home. There is a moment just before sleep where the veil between worlds becomes thin, where the body grows heavy, but the mind begins to drift. And in that moment, so many thoughts try to return, knocking gently at the door of your awareness. Unfinished stories, lingering worries, old memories rising like bubbles in still water. You don't need to invite them in, nor do you need to shut them out. Just notice them like clouds passing over a quiet sky. Let the mind wander gently without gripping. Let the breath be your root. Inhale, exhale, again, soft and slow, like the rhythm of a tide returning to shore. Each breath is a kind reminder that you are here, not in the past, not in the future, only now. And now is enough. In Zen, there is no battle to win against your thoughts, no forceful silencing. Only observation, gentle seeing, non-judgmental witnessing. You may feel a subtle ache in the chest, an echo of an emotion not fully named. That's okay too. Let it be there without rushing to make it go away. Emotions are like weather. They come, they stay, they pass. You are not the storm. You are the sky. The storm cannot harm you when you remember this. Each heartbeat grounds you. Each breath centers you. And slowly, the tension begins to melt. The sharpness of your inner chatter blurs into a whisper, and even that whisper becomes wind in the trees, distant, delicate, dissolving. Zen teaches that you are not separate from the world. You are the moonlight on the floor. You are the silence between the notes. You are the moment before the raindrop falls. And when you stop trying to fix yourself, the self softens. When you stop trying to hold on, you become weightless. So tonight, don't try to meditate. Don't try to sleep. Just be here with your breath. Let the body breathe itself. Let the mind settle naturally. No effort, no pushing. Only gentle permission. Permission to rest. Permission to feel. Permission to not know. You have carried enough for today. You have done enough. You are enough. Let these truths cradle you now as your body becomes still and your mind becomes wide and open and slow, like a pond with no ripples, like a sky with no clouds. Just space, just peace, just you. There is a quiet place within you that no one else can touch, a space untouched by words, untouched by fear, untouched by time. It exists beneath your memories, beneath your worries, beneath your name. And in this moment, with your breath slow and your body resting, you are returning to that space, not through effort, but through surrender, not by striving, but by softening. And the more you relax, the closer you come to it, as though a curtain is being pulled back from your own true nature, revealing not some grand secret, but something simple and whole. The deep stillness of being, the awareness that simply watches, not to control, not to change, but to understand, to allow, to love. Tonight, you are not required to fix anything, not even yourself. You are not expected to rise, to grow, to perform. You are invited to be, just to be, like a candle that glows without trying, like a river that flows without knowing where it will end, like a seed resting in soil before it becomes a tree. This is not the absence of life, but the fullness of it, the presence behind all movement, the quiet heartbeat of the universe echoing in your chest. Let your body release even more. Let your back sink into the bed. Let your shoulders fall. Let your hands rest without purpose. Let your breath become so soft it feels like silk brushing against the air. And in this softness, notice how everything you've been searching for outside peace, clarity, comfort, has always been waiting within. Zen does not give you something new. It reveals what was always true. You were never lost, only distracted. You were never broken, only tired. And now you are allowed to rest. You are allowed to feel the truth that your existence does not need to be justified. It is enough that you are here. Let that settle into your bones. Let that become your lullaby. There are no expectations here. There is no race. Just this inhale, just this exhale, just this presence. You are the witness, not the storm. You are the space, not the thought. And as you rest deeper, this truth becomes not an idea, but a feeling, a soft knowing, a return, a homecoming. So, rest now, fully, deeply knowing that you are safe, you are seen, and you are loved. In this stillness, let yourself be held by something older than fear and softer than time, a presence that has watched over every sunrise and every falling leaf. The same presence that lives in your breath right now, in and out, rising and falling, like waves that do not question the shore. You do not need to know what tomorrow brings. You do not need to solve the puzzle of your life before sleep arrives. You only need to arrive here where nothing is missing and nothing is required. The teachings of Zen whisper through silence. The less you seek, the more you find. The less you grasp, the more you feel. The less you try to be something, the more you become yourself. And so you rest not in escape, but in arrival. Not running away from the noise, but returning to the space that always holds you underneath it. If thoughts still wander through your mind, let them. Let them walk like visitors through a vast temple. They may come, they may go, but they do not own the temple. You are not your thoughts. You are not your doubts. You are the space in which they echo and fade. Can you feel that vastness behind your eyes, the openness in your chest, the subtle warmth of simply being? This is not a trance. This is not forgetting. This is remembering. Remembering that you are more than your name, more than your roles, more than the stories others have told you. Beneath the layers of expectation and performance, there is something pure and untouched, your knowing nature, your awareness, your Buddha mind. Zen invites you to rest in that, not to understand it, not to explain it, but to taste it like cool water after a long walk. And as your body grows heavier, as your breath becomes even slower, you might feel the sweetness of this simplicity, The peace that arises not from having everything under control, but from letting go of the need to control at all. This is surrender, not in weakness, but in wisdom. You are not giving up. You are giving in to presence, to stillness, to the truth that has waited patiently for you to remember it. You do not need to fix the day. You do not need to finish the story. You are allowed to sleep with questions unanswered and problems unresolved, because healing begins not with solutions, but with softness, with the courage to rest, with the strength to stop running, and simply lie down as you are where you are, and let the earth hold you, the breath guide you, the night protect you. There is nothing more to do. There is nowhere else to be. You are here, and that is enough. As your body melts further into stillness, feel the quiet layers of your being begin to unfold like petals releasing one by one in the darkness, not to be seen, not to be praised, but simply because it is their nature to open. And it is your nature too, not to strive endlessly toward becoming, but to return to what has always been. With each breath, you are peeling back the noise, the shoulds, the expectations etched into your spine, the constant reaching that wears down your spirit. There is no reaching here. There is no ladder. In Zen, there is only ground, steady, silent waiting. And on that ground, you do not have to be strong. You do not have to be wise. You only have to breathe. Even now, as your thoughts begin to slow, some part of you might still be trying to understand, to grasp what is happening, to make meaning. But meaning is not something you force. It's something that arises like morning mist, only when you stop trying to catch it. Let that be your way tonight. No effort, no resistance, no path to walk. Just be the one who notices. Notice how the muscles in your face begin to s'apneiron. Notice how your hands, your feet, your back, all begin to hum with quiet relief. You are not falling asleep. You are returning to balance. You are not losing consciousness. You are entering deeper awareness, the kind of awareness that doesn't need to think to know, doesn't need to speak to feel. You are becoming the moon reflected on still water, not the water, not the moon, but the reflection, free, luminous, untouched by fear. And in this reflection, every worry begins to blur, every regret begins to dissolve, and what remains is spacious and kind. You don't have to understand Zen to be held by it. You don't have to recite sutras or master silence. You only need to listen not to words, but to what is underneath them. The space between thoughts. The breath before the next breath. The feeling that everything is okay, even when you don't know why. That is the heart of the practice. That is the medicine tonight. Let it work without you working. Let it enter your bones without explanation. This is your time to be empty like the sky, soft like the wind, grounded like the earth. No matter what today held, no matter what tomorrow brings, this moment is free. And so are you. There is something sacred about this quiet, about the way your breath moves without effort, about the way your heart continues to beat even when you're not listening. And in this sacred stillness, Zen whispers that life is not a puzzle to solve, but a song to be felt, a vibration that moves through you, whether or not you understand the melody. Tonight, you are not the thinker, not the doer, not the one who plans or controls. or measures. Tonight, you are simply the space in which all things arise and fall. You are the open sky, and every thought, every feeling, every passing worry is just a drifting cloud, no longer something to chase or name or push away. Let them float. Let them pass. Let them dissolve. You are not defined by what visits you. You are the one who sees. And the more you soften into this seeing, the more you begin to remember that none of this has to be perfect. That peace is not the absence of problems, but the presence of surrender. Surrender not as defeat, but as a loving return. Come back now to the rhythm of your breath. Let the inhale remind you that you are here. Let the exhale remind you that you are safe. You are held in something older than fear, something deeper than thought. In the teachings of Zen, it is said that the true nature of mind is like a clear mirror. When we stop trying to wipe it clean, it reflects everything just as it is. So, let your mind be a mirror tonight, reflecting, not grasping, watching, not reacting, resting in its own clarity. The stories of the day may still echo, but they have no weight here. You are no longer the character in the story. You are the stillness watching the story unfold. And in this watching, something opens, something quiet, wordless, healing. You feel it not as an idea, but as warmth in the chest, as looseness in the hands, as a kind of inner smile that needs no reason. That is Zen. That is the pathless path. The more you try to get somewhere, the more you forget that you are already there. So, rest now in the here, in the now, in the breath that arrives without asking, in the presence that never leaves. You are enough for this moment. This moment is enough for you. Beneath the surface of every worry, beneath the weight of all your unfinished thoughts and restless emotions, there is a current of peace that flows silently through you, steady and unbroken, even when you forget it is there. It is like the deep part of the ocean that remains still, no matter how wild the waves become above. Tonight, you are invited to let go of the surface of the tension in your jaw, the heaviness behind your eyes, the invisible pressure you've carried all day, to let them sink and dissolve into that deeper current. You do not have to solve anything. You do not have to plan for tomorrow or replay what happened today. You only have to listen to what is already true. You are breathing. You are here. You are alive. And that is enough. In the quiet teachings of Zen, there is no race to enlightenment, no perfect form of meditation. You must achieve only presence, only this breath, this heartbeat, this noticing. If your thoughts return, do not resist them. Let them pass like birds across a wide sky. You are the sky, not the bird. You are the container, not the content. And as you let go of identifying with each thought, you return again and again to the vast stillness that holds it all. That stillness is not outside of you. It is you, the part of you that was never confused, never anxious, never separate. Zen calls this your original face, the self before the stories. And it has always been waiting behind the noise, behind the roles you play, behind the effort to be good enough. In this stillness, time begins to soften. You no longer measure the moment by what you accomplish, but by how deeply you feel it. And what you feel now is a gentle unraveling, like threads loosening from a tight weave, like burdens sliding from tired shoulders. There is a softness here, like moonlight on water, that holds everything without judgment. Your failures, your regrets, your fears, all of them are allowed to rest here, not to be fixed or denied, but simply seen. This seeing is healing. When you stop resisting what is, you begin to see it clearly, and in that clarity, suffering fades. Let yourself feel that now, the way your body has begun to surrender to gravity, the way your thoughts have started to slow, like ripples fading on a lake. There is nothing wrong with you. There never was. There was only forgetting. Forgetting your wholeness, your stillness, your enoughness. And tonight, you remember not through effort, but through letting go. Not through striving, but through returning. Let your breath guide you deeper. Inhale gently through the nose. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Again, let it be a rhythm, a lullaby. With each breath, feel your body grow heavier, more at ease. Let your feet relax. Let your knees and hips soften. Let your back melt into the bed. Let your arms rest like branches in still air. Let your face loosen your jaw, unclench. Your eyes become soft. And in this physical relaxation, notice how the mind follows. How the more you release the body, the quieter your thoughts become. This is the path of embodiment. This is the truth Zen has always pointed to. The body is not separate from the mind, and rest is not separate from awakening. You are not sleeping to escape. You are sleeping to return to what is real, what is simple, what is already whole. Even now, there may be small flickers of restlessness inside you. That is okay. Do not fight them. Let them be part of the landscape. A candle does not resist the wind. It simply continues to shine. You are that candle. You are that quiet glow in the dark, and nothing can take that from you. Let the teaching sink in now, not as lessons to memorize, but as warmth in your chest, as ease in your breath, as peace in your bones. You do not have to chase peace. It is already here. You do not have to earn stillness. It was never denied you. You only had to stop long enough to feel it. This stopping, this resting, this allowing, that is the gate, and you have already passed through it. No need to go anywhere else. No need to become anyone else. You are enough just as you are in this breath, in this body, in this night. Let yourself drift now, not away from yourself, but deeper into yourself. Deeper into the truth that you are safe, you are whole, and you are loved. You have walked far within yourself tonight, passed through silent forests of memory, crossed rivers of old pain, sat beneath the heavy clouds of your own thoughts. And now, here you are, not broken, not lost, but more whole than when you began. Even if your mind still drifts, even if the day's noise returns from time to time, the stillness is growing louder now, gently humming beneath it all. This is the paradox. Zen has always whispered that peace is not something you create, but something you uncover. It was always here waiting for you to stop searching for it. In this moment, let yourself drop even deeper. There is no bottom to this rest. Let go of even the idea of meditation, even the idea of healing. Let go of the effort to relax and simply be the one who is already relaxing. Imagine now that your body is not made of muscle and bone, but of breath and wind, of sky and soft water. Everything that once felt tense or heavy is now light dissolving at the edges like clouds at dawn. You are not falling asleep, you are returning home. There is nothing to fear here. Every breath is a doorway. Every heartbeat is a lantern. In the teachings of Zen, there is a story of a man who spent years climbing a mountain, believing enlightenment waited at the top. But when he reached the summit, he found only a mirror, and in it the face of a child, his own face, before he ever began the climb. This is the way back, not up, but inward. Not striving, but remembering. You too have chased answers through the forest of your thoughts. You have tried to perfect yourself, fix yourself, outgrow your pain. And now you are tired, not in a way that needs repair, but in a way that invites surrender. So surrender. Let go of becoming. Let go of knowing. Let go of everything except this gentle presence that holds you now. The breath is slow. The body is safe. The mind is soft. And all the noise that once seemed so important is beginning to fade into the distance like the murmur of a market. Once you step into a quiet temple, feel that now the temple of your body, the silence of your own inner sanctuary. You are not here to impress anyone. You are not here to prove anything. You are here to rest in the truth of what you are, spacious, still aware. There is no voice of judgment here. There is no pressure. Only the hum of existence, the rhythm of the present moment, the soft invitation to rest, to drift, to melt. If emotions rise, let them. Do not hold them back. Do not chase them either. They are clouds, you are sky. They are weather, you are earth. Let them pass. Let them bless you. Let them go. In this letting go, something tender awakens an inner kindness that was never lost, only buried under expectations. Now, that kindness is blooming again. Feel it in the way your jaw has unclenched, in the way your chest rises without fear, in the way your hands lie open now, no longer gripping anything. This openness is not weakness. This softness is not failure. It is the strength of a tree that bends in the wind but does not break. It is the grace of water, finding its way around every stone. It is the essence of Zen. You are not trying to escape life anymore. You are meeting it with presence. You are not wishing for a different story. You are resting in the space between stories where nothing has to be written yet. There is peace in not knowing. There is love in not striving. You are already enough, even if you don't feel it. You are already whole, even if you still ache. And tonight, as you drift deeper into this quiet, That truth is wrapping itself around you like a blanket made of sky. There is nothing left to do now, nothing left to say, only to be, to breathe, to listen to the silent music playing at the center of everything. It sounds like stillness. It feels like home, and it has always been yours. Close your eyes even deeper. Now, not only to the light, but to the noise of the world, to the endless movement of thoughts that once claimed your attention. You have journeyed through so many layers of your inner landscape, and what remains now is the most silent part of you, the place untouched by fear, untouched by time. It is not empty, but full, not still because of lifelessness, but still because of fullness. This is the deep cave of presence, and you have arrived at its center. Let your breath become the only sound you follow, soft like a river in the night. Inhale gently. Exhale slowly. Again, again. No effort, no goal. You are not guiding the breath. It is guiding you. You are not trying to sleep. You are allowing sleep to arrive, like a bird landing in open hands. Zen reminds you that even rest is not something to achieve. It is something to remember. You were born knowing how to rest. As a child, you lay on the ground without resistance. You closed your eyes without worry. You did not fear stillness because you had not yet been taught to run from yourself. And now, all that you are doing is returning to that wisdom. Feel the weight of the blanket on your body, the cool air on your face, the pulse behind your ear. These are not distractions, they are anchors. The world is still here, but it no longer demands your attention. The moon is shining somewhere above, but you no longer need its light. Everything you need is already within you. There is a teaching in Zen that says, when the mind is silent, the whole universe surrenders. Feel that surrender now, not of giving up, but of giving in to the gentle pull of the present. Let yourself be held by the night, by the rhythm of your body, by the vastness of being. If thoughts arise, meet them with kindness. Bow to them and let them pass. Do not chase them. Do not argue with them. Just return again and again to the breath, to the body, to the now. You are safe. You are allowed to rest. There is nothing urgent anymore. No roles to perform, no masks to wear. The world can wait. Right now, you are only human, and that is more than enough. In this softness, your body begins to release even more, your shoulders melting like wax, your stomach loosening like unfurled ribbon, your legs becoming warm and heavy like earth after rain. Let the tension in your back dissolve. Let the space behind your eyes expand. There is no reason to carry anything with you into this dream. You can lay it all down, the regrets, the fears, the unfinished lists, the echoes of other people's voices. None of them belong in this sacred space. Only you belong here. Only your breath. Only your being. The teachings say that in deep rest, you return to your true nature, not the self built from memory or expectation, but the self that simply is beyond all names. That is what you touch tonight. That is what you are remembering. And in this remembering, even your dreams begin to shift. They are no longer scattered images of anxiety or fantasy, but soft reflections of your own healing. Each dream a whisper, each symbol a teacher. Let them come. Let them speak to you in their own language. You don't need to control what they show you. Trust that your spirit knows what it needs. You are healing even in your sleep. You are growing even in your stillness. Zen does not promise that life will be free of pain, but it promises that you can meet it with clarity, with compassion, with presence. And that practice begins now, in this night, in this breath. So let yourself go even further. Let sleep open within you like a hidden garden. Let its air be sweet and its ground soft. Let the worries that once felt so large now shrink to shadows and disappear. You do not need to wake in the middle of the night anymore. You do not need to guard against the future. Everything that matters is already held. Everything that was broken is already mending. Everything that was hidden is already finding the light. Sleep now, not as escape, but as return. Return to your breath, to your body, to your truth. You are the sky. You are the river. You are the still stone at the center of the temple. Rest there. Stay there. Drift. Now you have arrived at the edge of everything. Not because you are ending something, but because you are merging with what always was. This silence, this breath, this presence that has followed you through every step, whispering beneath the thoughts, pulsing under every emotion, waiting for you to remember its name. And now, with eyes barely closed and mind soft as river mist, you touch that name without speaking it. You feel it like a warmth in your chest, like light behind your ribs, like the gentle pull of the universe back toward its center. Let yourself melt fully into this moment. There is no longer a boundary between body and bed, between breath and breeze, between self and sleep. You are not falling asleep. You are returning to the rhythm of the world, the rhythm of stars and tides and ancient chants that echo through time without needing to be understood. You are part of this rhythm and always have been. In Zen, there is a story of a monk who swept the temple courtyard every morning. When asked why he swept, even when the leaves would fall again the next day, he smiled and said, "I do not sweep to clear the path. I sweep to meet the path." Tonight, you are not seeking to sweep away thoughts or emotions. You are simply sweeping to meet yourself. Every breath is a brushstroke. Every exhale is a gesture of presence. The more you release, the more you find. The more you soften, the clearer you become. And now, there is no resistance left. You have emptied yourself not as one who gives up, but as one who finally knows they were never meant to hold everything. This is the peace that comes after the storm, not the forced calm of suppression, but the natural stillness. After truth has been felt, after grief has passed through, after love has been remembered. You are not alone here. You are accompanied by the sound of your own being, and by the quiet nod of every teacher who ever sat beneath a tree and taught that this moment, this breath is enough. Feel now how your breath begins to drift like a boat without anchor, carried effortlessly into the waters of sleep. The edges of thought blur. The body cools and steadies. The limbs lie quietly grateful to no longer carry the weight of urgency. In the teachings of the Lotus Sutra, It is said that all beings possess the seed of awakening. And tonight, that seed is opening in you, not with noise or brilliance, but with the quiet certainty that you have always belonged. Let go now of the last thought. Let go of even this practice. There is nothing to hold on to anymore. Even the words I speak now begin to fade like writing in sand drawn back into the sea. What remains is the vast sky of awareness and the gentle wings of your breath gliding across it. You are the still point in the center of your life. You are the pause that holds the power of transformation. And though the world will call to you again in the morning, for now, you are allowed to float, to dissolve, to become one with this gentle dark. In this sleep, you are not separate from the moon, from the trees, from the monks who chant by candlelight across distant mountains. You join them in silence. You become part of their prayer. You are a note in the symphony of all things returning to rest. And as you sleep, you are blessed. Blessed not because you are perfect, but because you are honest, open, real. This night holds you. This breath holds you. This path, the one you've walked through sorrow, through fear, through wonder, it has brought you here to the place where nothing more is needed. Let your last thought be no thought at all. Let your last effort be the effort of surrender. And let your sleep be deep, long healing. You have done enough. You are enough. The temple is closed. The bell has rung. The wind has stopped, and you are home.